Club, the Vice President of the National Honor Society, Secretary of the California Scholarship Federation chapter at our school, and held cabinet positions in the Leos Club and Animal Advocates Association. His involvement also includes Key Club, ASL Club, and being a dedicated member of the baseball program at our school, including the varsity team, where he also served as co-captain. Evan's passion for service is evident in his commitment to over 100 hours of volunteer work at El Rancho Vista Healthcare Center as a part of his CNA certification, as well as his continued work as a confirmation graduate volunteer at St. Mariana Catholic Church. His academic and extracurricular accomplishments have earned him the following recognitions: ROP, Regional Occupational Program Evening of Excellence winner, two-time HOSA Bronze Placement, third place in all California for Creative Problem-Solving competitive event. He went on to compete in the HOSA Internationals in Houston, Texas. Principal's Honor Roll, maintaining a 3.333 or above GPA for all semesters of high school. Male Student Athlete of the Month. AP Scholar with Honor Recognition. Currently listed as being a top 10 in the graduating class with the 4.75 GPA. Evan has been accepted to UCLA, UC Berkeley, NYU, UC Santa Barbara, UC Riverside, UC Merced, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Fullerton, Cal State LA, Whittier College, and the University of La Verne. He will be attending UCLA in the fall to pursue a degree in physiological science with aspirations of a future career in healthcare or medicine. Please join me tonight in welcoming Evan Tabuyo.
Good evening, Board of Education members, Superintendent, Cabinet members, and all attendees. My name is Evan Tabuyo, and I am currently a graduating senior of El Rancho High School's class of 2025. First off, I want to say that I am incredibly honored and grateful to be in a position where I am recognized in this manner by being able to represent my high school. I would like to thank my family, my friends, and the rest of my phenomenal support system to help me propel myself to a place of this nature. Along with all of those acknowledgments, one of the biggest pillars of my support system these past 7 years and being in the El Rancho Unified School District is the staff itself. From the teachers to the administrators, and considering all of my different coaches and any other personnel staff that continually help guide El Rancho students through the high school halls every single day. Starting brand new in the district as a sixth grader at the STEAM Academy at Burke, I became incredibly apprehensive on how I was going to perform, not only in my academics, but the person that I was eventually going to become in this school district. But unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic interrupted my middle school years, and the journey from a seventh grader to online school to a freshman in high school was definitely not a swift one. But I want to say that the El Rancho High School staff has definitely helped calm that. I immediately made an impact with my teachers at El Rancho High School, and they allowed me to get in within their good graces. I made the baseball team for El Rancho High School, where I represented the Dons on the baseball diamond for 4 years straight. And I tried my absolute best to try and get to know everyone else and be a kind individual in order for them to memorize me as a face of not only academic achievement, but kind support. Once again, I'm incredibly grateful that they were able to execute me to the caliber of my academic and athletic performance as they were. Once again, El Rancho has been a huge component in my formative high school years. And regardless if I lived a town over or down the street, which in fact I do, I would choose to attend this institution time and time again. The memories I have created here were second to none, and I will forever remember, once a Don, always a Don. Thank you for your time. Now, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Evan, can you say up? What a list of accomplishments you have, and I can't wait to see what the future brings for you. You know, go Bruins, first of all. We can get an LCAP out there. I'd get it done, right? Being a student athlete at a 4.75 says wonders. So congratulations on that. And the world is open. If there's anything we can do, as an individual myself or as a board, you're always free to come back. And then, like you stated, once a dawn, always a dawn. So no, you have us. It doesn't end when you graduate. You always have us to come back to. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Can you come up for a picture? And the parents, family members? Don't be shy. This is a great moment. Thank you again. Okay, moving on to adoption of the agenda. Approve the agenda for the regular Board of Education meeting on May 20th, 2025. Can I get a motion? Hearing a first and a second, we're going to take it to vote. Board Member Perez,
Yes.
Board Member Mejia,
Yes.
Board Member Saavedra,
Yes.
Board Member Lafarga,
Yes.
myself, yes. Motion moves 5-0. Report of actions taken in closed session.
Yes. So we have a few actions to discuss or to share. We convened in a closed session with a closed session discussion commencing at 5:13 p.m. The following were present: President John Contreras, Vice President Hector Lafarga, Clerk Christine Saavedra, members Esther Mejia and Arlene Perez, myself, legal counsel Ms. Copado, and all members of cabinet were present except for Mr. Matthews at the beginning. As to item A, members of the board were provided with a briefing and updates. Motions made by Member Perez and seconded by Member Mejia to approve expulsion consistent with the conditions recommended by staff. Motion carried 5-0. As to item B, members of the board were provided with a briefing and update. Direction was provided to staff. No reportable final action was taken. Mr. Matthews joined closed session at 5:26 p.m. As to item C, members of the board were provided with a briefing and update. No reportable final action was taken. As to item D, members of the board were provided with briefing and update. Direction provided to legal counsel and staff. At 6:22 p.m., all members of the cabinet exited closed session. As to item E, this matter was not discussed. As to item F, members of the board were provided with briefing, direction provided to legal counsel. No reportable action was taken. The closed session discussion concluded at 6:50 p.m. And that's all.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, we have student reports. ASB President, El Rancho High School, Camila Zuno.
Good evening, El Rancho Unified School District Cabinet, board members, and notable guests. My name is Camila Zuno, and I'm glad to be in attendance with you all for the last time as your El Rancho High School Associated Student Body President. During the month of April, we continue to support our spring sports and senior nights. We hope all our Dawn athletes had a memorable season. Last month, on April 21st, we were glad to finally be able to open our Dawn Memorial Stadium, Sports Complex, and Aquatic Center to the public. We were glad to see the stands full with people sharing as much excitement as us. That same week also kicked off our Dawn Game Spirit Week with gate decor. On Friday, April 25th, we had our annual Dawn Games in the main gym. Gray Team's theme was Batman and Blue Team's theme was Aladdin. After amazing performances and fun games, Blue Team took the win. After following The following day, Saturday, April 26th, was prom at the Diamond Bar Center. Despite the cold weather, our Dons had a memorable night. On May 9th, we celebrated Cinco de Mayo by having a food carnival where students supported clubs and sports. The following week, ASB had their senior night on May 15th, along with Powder Puff, where the seniors took the win with an ending score of 8-0. This Thursday, May 22nd, is a senior awards night at 5 p.m. in the main gym. Honor Crest and scholarship recipients will be recognized. Next week on Monday, May 26th, there will be no school to Memorial Day, but that Friday, May 30th, is Decision Day along with Senior Sunset. Lastly, on May 9th is graduation for the class of 2025 at the Don Memorial Stadium. Before wrapping up, I would like to say my entire high school experience was full of unforgettable memories, challenges, and growth. I'm incredibly grateful for the people, experiences, and lessons that have shaped me and I'll carry into the next chapter of my life. Thank you for having me, and I hope you all have a great rest of your school year.
Camila, thank you for the report. Really appreciate it. We really, on behalf of the board, we want to thank you for your presentations as always, for being here, for your leaderships, your leadership, not only here but other places that we've seen you. I mean, everywhere I've went, you were there, right, representing the student body well. So I want to thank you on behalf of the board, we wish you well in whatever you decide to do. Do you have a school of choice, or are you going to take a break, or what are your future? Cyprus? Good luck at Cyprus, and we wish you well in the future. And like I said before, if you can always come back, whatever you need, once a dawn, always a dawn, right? Thank you. Okay, now ASB spokesperson from Salazar High School, we have Mr. Leonel Barrera. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, District Administration, teachers, cabinet members, and community members. My name is Leonel Barreda, and I am the ASB Vice President. Ms. Deborah Zuniga could not make it tonight due to personal reasons, so I am stepping in for her. She will also have to say thank you for this year. This has been such an amazing year for all of us. Firstly, I would like to congratulate all the seniors from Orancho and from Salazar for this year's graduating class of 2025. Another year has wrapped up. I would like to share a few events that have been happening at Ruben Salazar this quarter. On May 3rd, Salazar and the prep program joined together for their last field trip. We had gone to the Manhattan Beach to spend time together and to visit the aquarium. On May 9th, Salazar hosted this year's prom at the Reef on Water in Long Beach. This year's theme was Old Hollywood mixed with casino night, something we in ASB thought all students would like as well as teachers. And we were right. All students had an amazing time, took pictures, and got great views. Priority registration for seniors to Rio Hondo took place May 15th at Salazar. Many seniors, as well as myself, signed up for this year's fall semester at Rio Hondo. It was like a great opportunity for all of the students to start a new journey in their college life. Following that, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. The week of May 19th to the 23rd, Miss Laguna, our mental health counselor, talked to the classes about mental health, sharing how important it is to talk about and to learn how to deal with mental health issues. A big thank you to Miss Laguna. Today, May 20th, we had our first ever farewell festival at Salazar. We all would like to thank the superintendent, board members, and the district board for attending this event. We all deeply appreciate the support that you guys have shown us today. It was a great way to celebrate our seniors and to just get ready for this upcoming graduation on June 10th. Also today, Ms. Vela's college and career class had a guest speaker, and today they learned about the field of dentistry. Ms. Vela is known for having guest speakers come on campus and help students find different career paths or different fields and careers. Lastly, on June 10th, Salazar would like to know or would like to tell you guys that we are having our graduation day in the new Dawn Memorial Stadium. We thank the board members and cabinet members and as well as the superintendent for this year. You guys have done such an amazing thing for us at Salazar, as well as helping us continue our path. Thank you to all the staff and teachers at Ruben Salazar, as well as Arancho, for whoever went from Arancho to Salazar. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you once again for coming back. First and foremost, you were great. You were very well spoken, I got to say, and you spoke what you meant. You know, I last time you came by, I took everything to heart. I did follow up on some of the issues that were going on. So I really appreciate that. It shows that you truly care. So thank you for that. Wish you well in the future. Do you have any school of choice? Are you going to be doing anything in the future? Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Fight on, right? So we wish you well, and as you know, I told your fellow students there, you're more than welcome. If you have any questions, if you need any help, you're more than welcome to come back, whether it be here or Salazar. We are still a family. So thank you very much. Awards and recognition of student representatives to the Board of Education.
So yes, good evening, everyone. This is really one of the favorite parts of the agenda as we get to recognize and give awards to various people. And tonight we have three different ones. But first, of course, is recognition of the student representatives to the Board of Education. And those are the representatives that have been coming all year. And so we have one today. And so this is a recognition for Camila Zuno Lopez. So let's give her a big round of applause, please. As she has come to each of our board meetings to share the things that are happening at the high school, to provide input and to really just be a presence and a constant reminder of why we are here. You know, we're here for our students, and certainly she's been able to share the great things that are happening at the high school, and a wonderful. It's been said by Mr. Contreras all the wonderful things that has said. But we have a recognition for you. So if you'd like to come up, we'd like to take a picture with you and give you your certificate. Another round of applause, please. No, we it's just the one. We had Deborah Zuniga, who is not here today, who is the regular person that comes.
Can we take a picture with you?
Absolutely. So, come on up. We may not have a certificate, but you've subbed in elegantly. So let's give him a big round of applause. Very well spoken, and has done an outstanding job in filling in.
Okay, moving on. Recognition of retirees and years of service pin to our recipients.
And so on Friday, there was a really great banquet that recognized all of our retirees and service year and recipients, as well as Player of the Year. And so today you're here as well for the formal board recognition. So I just want to take a moment to thank you all for everything you do every single day and everything you've done for our district over the years. And Mr. Matthews is going to share the names, and they come up if they hear their name.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm going to be reading the names of the 15, 25, and 30-year PEN recipients and also the retirees. If you are present when I read your name, please come up here and these fine cabinet members will provide you with a certificate. Thank you. 15 years of service, Angela Atencio. Lilia Estrella. Belinda Flores. Gabriel Garcia. Irene Gomez. Jesus Magdaleno. Janae Martinez. Roberto Mendez. Luz Revelta. Our 25-year service pen recipients, Tanya Alcaraz, Delia Ariola, Danette Manuelos, Isela Castañón, Adrienne Chavez, Misty Chavez, Jenny Coronado, I'll pay for that later. Maria Coronado de Martinez, Yvette Diaz, Renee Flores, Patricia Galan, Christina Gomez, Irma Hernandez, Jorge A. Hernandez, Carolyn Kelleher, Raul Leos Jr., Sonia Lilly, Thea Lincoln, Leticia Lopez, Marisela Luna, Cristina Mata, Sylvia Mendoza, Victor Orihuela, Jesse Ortiz, Bernice Ponce, Rosa Ramirez, Heather Redding, Margaret Renteria. Gabriela Rojo. Lisa Salas. Edna Tristan. Anna Villa. Now our 30-year service pin recipients. Derek Boyce. Martha Chade. Margarita Cordova. Patricia Cortez. Christy Diaz. Linda DeMassa. Joel Francisco. Monica Galarza. Kendall Goyanaga. Grace Hernandez. Jose Munoz. Robert Perez. Veronica Persona. Anna Reyes. Martha Richards. Billy Saavedra. Steven Saavedra. Monica Sorensen. Laura Valencia Haro. And last but not least, our retirees. 27 years, Gregory Aguirre. Yes, sir. You're the boss. Oh, Greg back.
This way.
No, I'm going to just going to from over there. Copy of this picture. What the heck, the
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. And just a quick note for the family members, we'll take a quick 5 right after this, and then we'll allow the family members to come up and take pictures should you want to.
32 years, Gabriela Buenrostro. 33 years, Laura Cano. 20 years, Carmen Ceballos. 21 years, Jose R. Collantes. 32 years, Martha E. Delgado Cano. 30 years, Linda C. DeMassa. 33 years, Jane Lisa Duenas. 20 years, Raul Elias. 25 years, Patricia Ann Galan. 24 years, Rosie Hernandez. 39 years, Guadalupe H. Kohler. 39 years, Belinda Larache. 31 years, Abel Limon. 23 years, Diana C. Mata. 38 years, Irma Medina. 25 years, Sylvia Mendoza. 33 years, Donna Mireas. 47 years, Estela Mian. 8 years, Mary Ellen Moreno. 27 years, Betty Randall. 10 years, Peter Greg Setlich. 38 years, Olivia L. Soltero. 34 years, Maritel A. Tanielu. And last but not least, 34 years, Irene Cepeda. Have a big round of applause for all of our retirees.
The next item on the agenda is honoring our El Rancho Unified School District Employee of the Year recipients. So we're going to call them up. So let's give them all a big round of applause as we get started. Come on, I know you want to clap tonight. Lots of celebrations.
First, the Certificated Employee of the Year, Marlene Shagoya. Sean Cunningham. Susan Estrada. Gabriel Garcia. Shauna Garcia. Amy Golding. Grace Hernandez. Guadalupe Kohler. Sarah Lar. Deborah Lopez. Christina Padilla. Sandra Robles. Carla Tatao Tao. Paulina Vega. Judith Rivera. And Irene Cepeda. And now the classified employees of the year. Greg Anthony Aguirre. Alyssa Cervantes. Elva Contreras. Maria Guerrero. Connie Hernandez. Sonia Lilly. Juan Carlos Lomeli. Christina Luna. Teresa Martinez. Donna Mireas. Fernando Garcia Montes. Angelica Perez. Doreen Rodriguez. Jennifer Robles. Teresa Roldan. Hensley Ronquillo. Javier Valdez Salas. And finally, our district employees of the year. Certificated Sean Cunningham. And classified Juan Carlos Lomeli.
I'm gonna recess for 5 minutes. If any family members want to take pictures up here with their family member, their recipient, if you guys want to take a quick picture up front, you're more than welcome to. We're gonna go ahead and get started, please. Thank you. So we're gonna move on to item 10, public comments, items on the agenda, blue comment cards.
We have one, Diana Limas.
Sorry, I'm a little bit sick, so my voice is going out. Good evening, community members, parents, students, district staff, and superintendent, cabinet, and board members. I'm here this evening to share my concerns about what is happening in this district. Again, we are here with the inconvenience of unnecessary changes being made at the expense of our students and staff and community. This last week, there was an announcement that has raised concerns. Apparently, there's a plan to change the administration of the middle schools by the superintendent, which I believe is a huge mistake. How is it that the superintendent continues to make unnecessary decisions such as these to cover his incompetence or avoidance of responsibility and accountability? Dr. Villegas has proven time and time again that his actions do not have our district and community in his best interest. For as long as I have had my kids in this district, there have been many turnovers with admin at North Park, and many times no one has stayed for one reason or another. Dr. Kimes has had the most difficult and yet impactful time at North Park. I was skeptical of her at first, thought she wasn't going to make it through the first year. Gave her a lot of pushback throughout the years, and she's still going strong for a school that no one stuck around for. I've given a lot of my time and worked closely as a parent volunteer in more committees than most, only to have repeatedly been proven that you, Dr. Villegas, are not here at ERUSD for the betterment of the students. You have created chaos in more ways than you want to admit, and more than I have time to call you out on. The change does not only affect the admin and staff, but it has consequences to the students and their families. Any consideration to how this is going to affect the Mod Severe program at North Park? There's already been too many changes and challenges that required a lot of work and relationship building with families. Do you know who built these relationships? It certainly wasn't you, because you, sir, have failed to acknowledge all your wrongdoings and weaknesses and instead have your cabinet and staff working overtime. This district always claims that we need parent engagement, and those pictures posted of the parent summit making it seem like we have so much involvement was all fake, because I was there from start to end, and those were only during the performances. One of your employees even asked the parent why they were there. Let's keep it real. These pictures aren't real depictions of what really happens around here. As an overly involved parent, this is not in the best interest of not just the school sites that I represent for DAC. It's upsetting to the staff and many at schools. It affects more than just the current students. You are losing the hope, trust, and confidence of everyone at an alarming rate. I get that Dr. Kimes is more than capable of handling tough decisions, and that's probably why you think she's going to fix your mess at the other school sites, but stop making everyone else fix or deal with your mess. You have cost the schools and staff enough, some even their mental health. You came to take credit for things you had little to zero to do with and slapped your name on the plaque. Have you inquired with all the staff at each of the middle schools? Does it even matter to you what you're doing? I'm not just concerned for North Park, but for Rivera and Steen families. They should also be aware and concerned for this change, along with all the feeder elementary schools as well. Why are you still here? Why you're still here is beyond me. You should have resigned a long time ago. How much longer are you going to make a mess here? I'm not the only one counting down until June or July 2028. I know for a fact I'm not the only one counting down. My concern is how much more it's going to cost us to fix everything when you're gone.
Thank you, Ms. Limas.
That's the only one for blue cards.
Thank you. Moving on to items on yellow cards.
And we have John Aguirre.
Hello, school board and cabinet. My name is John Aguirre, and I am a proud employee of the Rancho Unified School District and volunteer at Rio Vista Elementary. It has come to my attention that next year I will not be able to volunteer at the school. I do not know if this is a new school or district policy, but I hope this is not true. If it is not a new policy, I was never told that I did anything wrong, and warned if I did anything. I was looking forward to next year for volunteering because next year I have a niece that will start going there as a TKer. I was looking forward to joining the PTO and helping with her class and all the other classes that I've helped with over the years. I've been a volunteer at Rio Vista Elementary for over 20 to 30 years, and some of you cabinet members were as a principal, a student, or a parent. If I cannot volunteer next year, does that mean that I cannot help with the Santa Claus toy giveaway and the Easter egg hunt for my little friends in the special ed class? Me and my mom have been hosting these two events for over 10 years, and I was hoping to continue the tradition. Also, does this mean that I cannot volunteer in the library or greet the students in the morning? Also, while I am volunteering at the school, I am a classroom aide, so I know disrupting the classes I do not do. I do not disrupt the classes or go into the classes during school time unless I am invited by the teacher so I can help them with what they need. I have been a student, employee, and volunteer at Rio Vista Elementary, and I hope to continue to volunteer. So if this is a new policy, I hope that you can reconsider. And if it is not a new district policy, any help with me volunteering next year would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre.
Jennifer Prado.
Good evening, board and community. My name is Jennifer Prado, and I am here tonight as a concerned parent. I've had the privilege of serving on both site council and district advisory council, which has allowed me to work closely with Mr. Yanarella. In every interaction, Mr. Y has consistently demonstrated a deep commitment to doing what's best for students while also providing unwavering support to families. He connects with students in a way that is both respectful and relatable and rare and an invaluable trait. Anytime I've reached out with concerns, Mr. Yanarella has addressed them promptly, thoughtfully, and with genuine care. His leadership has been a stabilizing force during an incredibly difficult time for our school community. Over the last 2 years, many would have walked away under the pressure and criticism that he has faced. But Mr. Y stood firm, defending his staff, his students, and even parents like myself when we were under attack. I have always been a proud supporter of this district and have gone above and beyond to defend and promote it. But I must be honest, this decision to move the principals around feels deeply disappointing to me. It doesn't align with the values of stability, student advocacy, and community partnership that I've seen this district uphold in the past. This is also a very real concern about what happens next. I don't believe that all the principals involved are welcoming this change, and I worry for the safety and emotional well-being of our students, of the incoming staff, are unaware of the severity of what STEAM has endured over the past 18 months. I urge you to reconsider. Mr. Yanarella has earned the opportunity to continue leading and healing this school. Please do what is right for the students, for the families, and for the future of this district. That's what I had prepared to read tonight, and I wanted to make sure that I read it because a lot of times I go off topic. I was so disappointed when I received the email from you guys that you were moving everybody around. It was like a slap in the face. Everything that that man has gone through, including defending myself against bogus charges, and to move him around without any word whatsoever, without any feedback from the community, I'm at a loss for words for it. He has done so much for these families. And yes, there's always outliers who believe that the world should revolve around them. I get it. But more often than not, Mr. Y shows up for these families. It's not just the students. When I called him and was having personal problems, he stood up and helped me to the best of his ability and showed me a way around. I understand that that would be good at another school, but I also don't feel like it's fair to rip that out from the families that have already come used to it, that already have a rapport at that school. I'm really, really disappointed by this decision and everything that has gone into it because it just feels like a slap in the face. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Prado.
Rose Gonzalez.
Good evening, school board and cabinet and guests. My name is Rose Gonzalez. I work at Rio Vista Elementary. I have worked there for over 30 years and volunteered many years before during that time. and have been through many principals. I know with new principals come changes, but this change is unfair. I was informed my sons and husband would not be allowed to volunteer next year. Was told it was strange having my sons there with me every day. Another time I was told that it wasn't right having my boys with me all the time. If you know my family, we have been volunteering since he was in middle school. He would volunteer cleaning up the stands at El Rancho. Um, they both work at El Rancho High School. One of them goes in at 8 and one goes in at 9. So they go with me to work at 7. At 6:50 we get there. That's the only way I could get my Starbucks and food is dragging them with me, because that's what we do. We get our Starbucks, go eat at school, and then I start working. If any teachers need help, they know to call my room and the boys will run over there to help them. They don't disturb any classes. They only go where they're allowed. You can even ask Mr. Cochran. He was one of our principals. What they do when they're there, they last maybe half hour there. They straighten the books and clean them because I don't have time. She's changing my schedule where I only have 40 minutes the whole day without my library being open, and expected to do other things, which I don't mind trying to do. But if I can have the little help of my boys, I don't know what they've did wrong since the beginning. She's been after them and me. That's a different story. And her going after me. My kids are one thing, but me is one thing, but my kids are another thing. Don't mess with my kids. We buy erasers for all kids. We pass them out. Christmas, Easter, and end of the year, we give goodie bags to the kids. My boys help. They buy them. Like my son says, we do Santa every year and give out our special little friends, the special ed kids presents, even kinder. I'm almost done. At the end of the year picnic, my family helps for the special ed. My son, he buys 2 books a payday for our library.
Please wrap
Not
up.
us.
Please wrap up, Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay. Tomorrow is parent volunteer recognition. Is it going to be canceled next year because she does not want volunteers? To me, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable because she's always watching or something I do wrong.
Please wrap up, Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay. I just wanted to mention, thank you for the new library, but Miss Alonso had bought us a kidney table for our special little friends so they could use whiteboard markers. She took it and she never gave me anything back what she said she was. So they haven't been to the library this year, which I don't
Thank you,
think
Ms.
is right.
Gonzalez. Thank you.
Mario Rosas.
Hello and good evening. My name is Mario Rosas. I'm a parent and a business owner on the city of Pico Rivera. And I'm right here just to ask the more members to remember that you guys were elected by the people because we thought that you guys were the right people to do the right thing for the district. At this point, I feel that you guys are failing us. I haven't seen it like the drama and the many things that have been covered on the city. And I blame all of you for not doing the right thing, being afraid of taking the right decisions. Don't be afraid. We are here to support you. No matter how hard the time comes to you, we're going to support you, but you guys need to start making the right decisions. I'm really tired of seeing that you guys are sugarcoating the present, selling us the idea that our kids are okay with you guys, where you guys are not doing the right thing for our kids. The future is very aggressive and losing his humanity, and is waiting for my daughters. And I'm really concerned about whatever is going on with this education on this district and with the people who's making the decisions, not about the workers. The staff are doing really a really great job. It's about the decision makers that you guys are not shaping on the right way. We've been losing time, millions, and so many, covering so many things that you guys are part of that. You guys don't do nothing. I've been advocating for the north side for many years, and nothing has been done on the north side. I don't want to take excuses about saying that you guys are renting buildings or you guys are doing whatever. The president is telling me that whatever I've been asking you for you guys on the past, nothing has been done other than just talking, talking, talking. We need to stop. Remember that you guys are getting paid by our money, our taxes. You guys need to understand the responsibility that you accept when you guys decide to hold that share. Putting people to protect people from losing their job is not the right thing. Don't be wrong about like protecting yourself, putting other employees to protect you in case of anything. You guys need to understand the responsibility that you guys hold. It's our kids, our future, is the whole nation. Nothing moves on this country without the right education. So don't lie to the parents, to myself about like saying that you guys are doing the right thing when I see it. Nothing has changed. Whatever happened on the past is still happening, no matter how hard you guys are trying to cover it. It's the truth. We can see it. I can see it. And I can tell you about many things that I know that are happening around our kids that are not supposed to be happening on the 2025. All of us are supposed to be ashamed for whatever present we're providing our kids with on the 2025. This is not the 1980s or the 2000s, 2025, and we're still doing the same mistakes as the past. There is a lot of people who thinks that you guys are doing the right things because they are your friends. I see you guys as professionals, back as professionals. The picture of the recognitions that you guys give to your kids are trash. I don't want to see my daughters flipping hamburgers later or like being risk takers on the streets because you guys don't protect them. You guys are shaping the whole country. Please do the right thing for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg Aguirre.
Okay, here we go. Good evening, Mr. President, board, administrators, teachers, staff, and great parents behind me. My name is Gregory Aguirre. Everybody knows me as Mr. Greg. I've been a resident here for almost 70 years. And during my journey, my greatest accomplishment was volunteering and helping the families of Pico Rivera, and especially the Rancho Unified School District, its community, to help these children so that they can have the best opportunity for the best education in the world has to offer. This board has said it so many times, and I agree with it, that it takes the entire village to bring up our children. You've said it so many times, and I agree with it so many times. So next year, when my granddaughter will be attending Rio Vista, home of the Mighty Panthers, I was so excited. I again thought, I'm going to be part of the village. But unfortunately, that excitement was short-lived because I was informed that I will not be able to volunteer, that volunteers will not be welcomed at Rio Vista. Needless to say, I was shocked. But what really hurt me was that I was individually pointed out, and also my family. That's alarming. A family that has dedicated its to this district. And I'm going to say something, and I'm sorry, babe. My mom, who was a board of education, the first Latina, even death threats, she still became a board member and a good representative for that. And I'm sorry if I go like 10 seconds over. Volunteers are the backbone of any elementary. And you would think a person that helps bring Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny to our special needs kids, you would think a person that assisted, hosted, DJ, made signs for annual festivals, for all the different assemblies and performances through the years. You would think a person with over 50 years of wisdom, work experience, knowledge, and skills that are tailor-made for elementary, you would think this person would be welcomed with open arms. But unfortunately, this is not the case. You know, I've had a dream that one day like I said before, I can come back to Rio Vista and be part of that village. But it doesn't look like it. So with the last 30 seconds, I look to you to help make that dream come back to me. With my final 30 seconds, I'm going to do something that I haven't done. I've only done this once before at a Board of Education member meeting. One of the greatest coaches, teachers of all time is John Wooden. His term of success is also still being used worldwide. He was asked, when all is said and done and you go to the pearly gates, what do you want them to say about you? He said, a job well done. Mr. Matthews, Mark, if I may, a job well done. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre.
Natalia Gonzalez.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Villegas, Cabinet, and our Rancho Unified School District families, friends, and community. First, I'd like to take a moment today to express my sincere appreciation and publicly acknowledge the incredible staff of the Early Learning Program. Our program is more than just a workplace. It's a family. Many of us have been here for years, as evident of our employees recognized today. Ms. Lupi with 39 years of service, Ms. Donna with 33, Ms. Laura with 23 years, Ms. Irma with 38 years, Ms. Patty 30 years, and Ms. Anna 25 years. When one of us is hurting, we all feel it. This year has been especially difficult. Many within our team have experienced profound personal losses. Since December, there have been 8 that have passed. A best friend who was a former employee, a brother, a sister, an aunt, a mother, a daughter, one of our young preschool moms, and just last weekend, one of our own teachers. Sorry. Ms. Rocio Curiel. Ms. Rocio was a remarkable example of strength and dedication. Despite battling significant health issues over the past 2.5 years, she remained determined to return to work. Even when she wasn't feeling 100% or even close to it, she still made the effort to show up for her little ones. Her commitment was a reflection of the spirit that so many of our staff members embody. No matter what challenges they face, they continue to show up and give their best and care deeply for the young children and families we serve. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the board, Dr. Villegas, Ms. Coronado, Ms. Castañon, Mr. Cochran, Ms. Chavez, Ms. Soto Delgado, and the student services team, Mr. Matthews and the awesome HR staff, Ms. Padilla and her team, as well as the ERFT Union President, Ms. Lil Carrion, and all the administrators at our elementary site. Your ongoing support has meant so much to us, especially during these difficult times. Thank you for being there whenever I've reached out. I am very proud and honored to be a part of this program, this district, and this community. Like they say, once a dawn, always a dawn. I appreciate y'all and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez.
Patty Contreras.
Good evening, board members, cabinet, superintendent, and community. I am honored here today, and I want to begin by offering my heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2025. As a parent of a senior, I share the mixed emotions felt by many other families. Pride and excitement is an understatement. It's been inspiring to witness this class grow into the dedication and thriving students they are today. Watching them prepare start a new chapter in their lives is truly a moment to celebrate. Many of these students have dreamed about graduation since their elementary school days, and now they're living it. That's why the tradition of Senior Grand Walk, where graduates return to their elementary schools to be cheered on by future dons, is so meaningful. It brings their journey full circle. However, I must express the concern over the current limitations placed on this opportunity. Only 3 schools a day are participating with just 36 students each day. That feels unfair. So many students and parents would love the chance to walk those familiar halls again, halls where they once worried more about recess than real life. I respectfully ask that the superintendent consider expanding the grad walk invitation to include more students and schools. This would be a cherished moment for so many. Next, I'd like to speak about the new stadium. The sports complex is absolutely beautiful, long overdue. It's wonderful that our athletes can finally participate and compete on their home turf. And come fall, the stands will be filled with proud families cheering them on. With that said, I understand with new construction, there are many growing pains, from softball and baseball teams not having lights their senior night, to restroom access issues during powder puff, and even the scoreboard not working. These are things we hope can be ironed out moving forward. Most importantly, I urge you to ensure that everything runs smoothly for the upcoming El Rancho and Salazar graduation ceremonies. These are once-in-a-lifetime milestones, and our students and families deserve an experience that is seamless, memorable, and worth of all their hard work. Thank you for your time and for your continued dedication for our student success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Contreras.
Heather Redding.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Heather Redding, and it is with immense pride and gratitude that I stand before you tonight. For 24 years, it has been my profound privilege to serve this district, and I can honestly say I love my job. Currently, I've served as coordinator and for vital programs within our district. These include teacher induction, peer assistance review, national board teacher support, peer and intern support, student substitute teacher support, and the training of mentors and consulting teachers. I also oversee employee evaluation and new employee orientation meetings. In these roles, I've had the distinct honor of working alongside some of the finest educators imaginable. The dedicated teachers who step up to serve as mentors and consultants. Many of these mentors are national board certified teachers, bringing years of invaluable experience and expertise to the table. I witnessed firsthand how they are truly paying it forward, leaving an indelible legacy of high quality teaching skills and pedagogy. They are shaping the next generation of teachers, supporting the newly hired staff, and providing a patient and understanding peer for those who may be navigating areas of improvement. I genuinely cannot praise these amazing, hardworking, lifelong learners of the teaching profession enough. For nearly 2 decades, I have been blessed to manage and coordinate these programs, and their dedication is truly inspiring. As a member of the Human Resources Department, every Friday after our board meetings, I lead the orientation of our newest employees who have just been approved for hire in our district. We begin asking each person to share their name, their new position, and one of the many reasons they chose to work for the El Rancho Unified School District. What I consistently hear is deeply moving and speaks volumes of the community of Pico Rivera. Many are community members and alumni who grew up right here in Pico Rivera. Many have had the chance to student teach in one of our amazing schools and subsequently choose to apply. And many are family members of someone who lives and works here in Pico Rivera. The common thread is always a deeply personal connection to our district. When it is my turn, I state my name and my position as coordinator in human resources. But instead of explaining why I chose El Rancho 25 years ago, I share one of the many reasons why I choose to stay. I tell them that I have found a work family, friends, and a career home here in El Rancho. They say home is where the heart is, and my heart is truly with El Rancho. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Redding.
Diana Limas again.
Ms. Limas?
No. Fernando Islas.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to the staff, especially to the retirees for your unwavering commitment to this district. For starters, as public comments were going on, my child literally leaned over right now and told me that if I wanted to say she's grateful for you guys moving him, I can. You guys know what she had to endure at his hands. I wanted to come in and publicly thank the person that finally took some initiative to do something about our situation. Although it seems that the individual who we have been urging you to do something about will still be with the district, at least they're out of our hair for now. It behooves of them to get their act together for the sake of our kids. So much damage was caused though, before you guys finally did something. Irreparable harm that you guys will never begin to understand. But to give you an example, I'm going to remind you, you guys served me multiple civility letters banning me from district facilities to include times when my child has school events. It took a year and a half to get here. I began making Mr. Villegas aware of this issue in November of 2023. I still have notes from our first meeting, Mr. Villegas. I told you that you needed to check out what was happening at that school for two reasons: safety and liability. It wasn't until I finally got footage, physical evidence of this person's behavior, that you guys finally did something. But not before trying to scare me with allegations of potentially breaking the law. That is a public office paid for by our tax dollars. We reserve the right to record. There is no expectation of privacy. But seeing that you guys now have cameras doesn't seem like I'm going to need to. I told you that if you guys did something, I wouldn't put it on record. I'm a man of my word. I now want to talk about your board member, Arlene Perez, her continuous unprofessional behavior. I stumbled upon her the evening of the athletic complex grand opening. I began to chant, and once she noticed me, she began to mock me by laughing with the group she was with, jumping up and down as if my protest chants didn't faze her. You can actually hear some of the laughs on the video posted today to the new Instagram account at the parents of ERUSD. Let me tell you, ma'am, there's nothing funny about the harm we have condoned on our kids. Lastly, I wanted to emphasize the importance of taking our concerns seriously. When we come to you and tell you we have an issue, please take them with the merit they deserve. Since I have some time, I want to quickly thank Ms. Saavedra for making an attempt to take some of the expenses to the DC trip. Although it doesn't seem like you were successful, I appreciate you being considerate of our budget. I also want to denounce any association you're thinking of having with genocidal politicians. You are representing our district, and I reject you going over there and mingling with genocidal monsters that want to continue to support the terrorist state of Israel. That includes Linda Sanchez. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Islas.
Those are all the public comments.
Thank you. Moving on to Labor Association reports. I don't. Do we have? Oh, okay, good.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent, Cabinet, and Community. First, I want to thank the board and the district for approving the MOU last month for our raise. I want to thank the Fiscal Services Department for the hard work and gain our raise to us last month as well. This week is CSCW Classified Schools Week. This is coming from our CSA Association president. Each year, California takes a moment to recognize the incredible contributions of classified employees, and this week is your week. Happy Classified School Week. Happy Classified School Employee Week. This year's theme is Trusted, Inclusive, United. Perfectly reflects who we are and how we serve. Whether you're supporting students in the classroom, maintaining our schools' facilities, preparing meals, managing technology, or keeping everything running behind the scenes, your dedication is the foundation of our public schools. On behalf of your union, thank you for the tireless work and unwavering commitment to California students and community. You are respected, appreciated, and essential. Wishing you a joyful and well-deserved week of recognition and unity. Adam Weinberger, our Association President of CSEA. I also have a reminder. I sent out an invite to the CSCW luncheon to the cabinet and to the administration. You're all welcome to come tomorrow. We start serving at 11 and we'll be going on to 3 p.m. So you're all welcome. I know some of you, I think you all RSVP'd, I believe. So I'll be expecting you guys there. Mr. Matthews? I got it. I got your RSVP. I want to thank the HR department for putting on the employee recognition together last Friday. It was beautiful. It went well. I want to congratulate all the retirees and thank you for years of service here at Rancho. For our 15, 25, and 30-year PIN employees, thank you as well. Well deserved. Congratulations to all the employees of the year. I want to thank the Director of Food Services for the permanent increase of hours for cafeteria helpers that are going tonight. So hopefully you guys approve that. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the update. Seeing no other, are we good to move on?
Yep.
Okay. So seeing no other, we're going to move on to item 13. Information items, presentation of the elementary science adoption.
Good evening, board, Dr. Villegas, community members and staff. My name is Laura O'Dell. I'm your science TOSA, and we've reached the end of a long road in getting all our grade levels and all our grade spans new science materials. Next slide. Do I have this slide? Oh. Sorry, I do at least one super awkward thing a day and I was due. Is it? Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. So we use the time tool that CDE developed and endorsed tool, that we've been using for all our other adoptions. We start with a district lens. We don't start with shiny covers. We look at what our district needs are, make our report of findings, proceed to figure out which programs we'd like to vet and which ones we want to pilot. The significant events we started early on, it's been a while, just building awareness with administrators on what the process is like, and moving on into this earlier this year, we had a committee of teachers from every school, all grade levels represented. And they are the ones that kicked off the process of looking at what our needs are. They decided on 2 programs to pilot, and it came down to just April where they made their final recommendation. Our instructional materials, there's a couple of reasons why we selected what we did select. One of them is that we selected from the list of the state adopted materials, programs, and we do refer to them as instructional materials instead of textbooks, because they come with an entire suite of digital and hands-on, and yes, some written material. The programs are reviewed on the state level by teachers, mainly committees of teachers who make sure that every standard is addressed and that the programs show strengths in particular places. Okay. And a little bit more on our rationale, that the materials that were adopted had to represent or had to include every standard in our newly adopted in 2013 NGSS standards. And they had to show strengths in organization, assessment resources, access and equity, and social content. And as an overview of what we mean by the type of learning that was required, we refer to it as 3D learning. It's not just learning, it's doing and it's thinking. So it's a multi-dimensional approach to learning, and our materials that the state adopted had to align completely with those. Another reason for this is that these materials had to comply with the California law that states all instructional materials in science and social studies must include the environmental principles and concepts. The EPs and Cs are basically environmental literacy, and California leads the way with these kinds of initiatives. So the programs that we have that we're recommending and the ones that we've piloted, they all address each and every one of those standards. So our process, as mentioned, we started with our district lens and we collected data. We looked first at our district mission, the strategic plan, and our LCAP goals, our SBAC data specific to English learners, our most recent CAST scores, the California Science Test, our elementary LPAC results, as well as our English learner population data and student demographics. At the end of that day, the teachers had their summary of findings and decided to pre-screen. After pre-screening 4 programs that fit our needs, they piloted both McGraw-Hill Inspire program and Savas Elevate. After our final evaluation, the teachers looked at 3 different rubrics. One of them, rubric 1, was all the content, the standards. Rubric 2 was the one that we looked at the most, the one that deals with equitable access and materials that would support the needs of our learners, and also at teacher support materials. So our final recommendation, after getting all these rubrics in from all the teachers for both programs, our final recommendation was, here's a data from our first pilot and our second, which was Savas Elevate. And as part of that, we looked at some of the reports of findings and some of the comments, because teachers did have to record evidence for their choice. Teachers were really encouraged to see that there was different kinds of assessment, formative and summative, that the materials were engaging, that the materials could also be adapted to the needs or whatever needs their students had. We had a lot of things on student voices. Students had a lot to say, but one thing caught my attention. What caught my attention the most is the word excited. It was nice to see kids excited and looking forward to learning more about science. So it's just a little vignette at some other things that they mentioned about the program. And with that, thank you for your time. And that is the recommendation we have going forward.
Thank you. At this time, I'll take any questions from the board. Starting over here, Trustee Saavedra. Oh, my bad.
I just wanted to say thank you. You guys did a really thorough job. Was part of the parents that stakeholder group that did the 7th grade and the high school one. And the Savas, like it just completely blew a lot of the parents away. We're like, wow, this, like you said, it's not a textbook. It's integrated. It had so many components, so many, take home parts. And I look forward to how we can integrate that with parents being able to help their students at home too. So thank you very much.
Yes, we did present it at DAC and DLAC.
Thank you. Trustee Perez?
Sorry, just Thank you for again for the process. Every time we do this, it's exciting. And just for me, what stuck out was one of the teacher comments that it's free of bias. I think sometimes we don't think about that when it comes to science, and it just said thank you for that. And then just the excitement from the students alone that makes them excited about science because we know that's we need so many more, right? So I just thank you for the process, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Mejia.
Echoing my colleagues' sentiments, thank you for the very thorough process and the presentation. You guys did an excellent job.
Trustee LaFarga.
Same, echoing the comments. Eh, Thank you for doing the heavy lifting to get us here because it is a long process. And then thank you for including the voices of the students and the teachers because at the end of the day, if they embrace it, then it'll work. So thank you very much.
Thank you again for the presentation.
Thanks.
Moving on to item B, presentation of the educational partner meeting and feedback on local control and accountability plan, the LCAP.
Just make sure. That way. There are things on the wall. Oh.
Gonna try it. Good evening, Cabinet Board community. Thank you for the opportunity for us to share with you a bit of our LCAP educational partner engagement process. It's really great that we can do this now because we can go a little bit more into depth in how we gathered. And then on June 17th, we have our public hearing and then adoption. So it's nice that we can break it up and then share with you what our partners have provided in terms of what they see as a need, what's going well, what we could still work on. So as you know, last year we adopted a new LCAP and it's a 3-year cycle. So this LCAP will be with us for 3 years. We can still make changes. We can change our goals. We can update our metrics, add, remove actions. But these are the goals that we set. Our big 3 are the conditions of learning goals, which is what do we provide for our students, our facilities, our textbooks, our teachers, and our staffing. What are the conditions that our students are going to thrive in? And that goal is all students will receive standards aligned instruction and courses from highly qualified teachers in safe, clean, and welcoming facilities. Our second goal is engagement. And this is not only for our students, it's also our staff and it's our families. So how do we make our staff, our families, and our students feel welcome and feel safe on our campuses and in our offices? So here we have ERUSD will create an inclusive environment that fosters a feeling of safety and belonging among all students, parents, and staff. Our third goal is people outcomes. So what do we want to produce as we're in graduation season, when our students leave El Rancho and once a Don, always a Don, how are we preparing them to go out into the world? So our goal here is ERUSD will provide an effective instructional program to advance independence and establish academic preparedness that equips students to graduate college and career ready. Those are our big 3 goals. But in addition, we have 2 more goals. One of the things that we felt was lacking in our last LCAP is we didn't call out English learners specifically. And that's a significant portion of our students. And it's also one of our unduplicated pupil groups. So goal 4 really aims at addressing the needs of English learners. You're going to see English learner supports throughout goal 1, 2, and 3, but we wanted one goal that specifically addressed it. And sometimes it gets a little confused, like you don't have enough actions. They're in other places as well. But this is a goal that's going to force all our sites and ourselves to put attention to our English learners. And it's very simple. We're saying we want to reclassify more kids at elementary so that we get less LTELs, long-term English learners, at the secondary level. And we know that's a big push because once you get to secondary, you have to have a period of designated ELD. And for some of our kids, that limits the amount of exposure they get to electives. So we really want our kids to reclassify by 5th grade. Our last goal is an equity multiplier goal. This is a goal that is given, that is required to be in our LCAP, but it only addresses our schools that receive equity multiplier funding. It's about 252,000, and those 2 schools or 2 school in a program are Salazar and our virtual learning academy that's referred to as the district office. And the reason they give that money is because they understand that programs like Salazar and DLA enrollment that isn't consistent, right? Students go into Salazar, they come back to El Rancho, back and forth. Same with VLA, they go in and out. So to address some of the equity issues with funding, they have this goal. And so for this one, we said is we want to make sure that we're producing more students that are college and career ready when they graduate from Salazar and when they finish the VLA program. And the way we're going to do that is by increasing the number of CT offerings, including creating a new pathway by this June 2025. So those are our goals. And as you can see here, we tried to do a lot when it comes to educational partner outreach. So we always hold 3 meetings with our educational partners that are open to everybody. We have students there, we have parents there, we have community there. The first meeting was February 26th, and what we wanted to do was explain the process. What is the LCAP? Why is it important? What's the funding? The second meeting is we went into our goals, the ones I just reviewed with you, and into our metrics. So we said, if this is what we want to do, how are we going to measure it? And so we went through all the data, and parents said, we look good. Our AP scores went up, our passing rate went up, but we need more help here. So they really broke up into the data and started seeing, where are we doing well? Where do we need to put more effort? Our last meeting was April 2nd. And this is where we asked them, now that you understand our goals and our metrics, are our actions helping us get there? What do we need? What are we doing well? What do we need to do more of? In addition to that, we know that not everybody can attend a meeting. So we put out surveys. We put out a survey for parents to give us feedback, a survey for teachers and staff to give us feedback, and one for our students. And those went from March to April. I put numbers there so you get an idea of how our feedback went. 294 parents, 2211 students, and 264 staff surveys. Then our last session before today was our DAC DLAC session, which was May 14th. So just recently, last week, we met with DAC DLAC. We presented all of this information to them, and we said, now we need your feedback. What do you think we need to add? What can we improve on? So I wanted to share with you what some of that feedback looked like. I'm sorry if the print is a little small. We'll try to get it all in there. So we really asked our parents to focus on the first 4 goals, because the 5th one, we need feedback from Salazar and VLA specifically. So when they looked at that first goal, the one about conditions of learning, they said, we love the wellness center, but it's a little confusing. Is that health, mental health? Is that their physical health? I think it's confusing for some of the parents and maybe some of the kids. So can we do a little distinction there so we know exactly what we're talking about? Then they said they love the CHICS, the California Healthy Kids Survey. They like that data, but they want to see it for all grades. Because right now, Ms. Delgado, it's only 9th and 11th at the high school level. Middle school is 5 and 7. So I said 5, 7, 9, 11, great, but what about a 2nd grader? What about a 6th grader? They also said, and this one I'm proud of because we already do it, they said we want an end of course survey. So when the kids are all graduating from Salazar or El Rancho, let's get a customer exit survey. Let's find out, do they have plans? Where are they going? Do they feel like they were prepared? And we have that data that we can share. Our kids get it. It's one of the requirements for them to get their graduation tickets. Next, they said, we want to make sure that students, parent, employee feedback is shared with employees and with department. That's something that we had done already. So in cabinet, we sat and we looked at all of the responses. And so one of the things that we said is, Ms. Delgado, you have a department. Look at the responses from our parents, our students, and our teachers. What pertains to you? What do we need to change in the LCAP? Same with Ms. Padilla, Mr. Matthews, Mr. Cochran, Ms. Castañón. We all looked at them. In addition, we sent each principal a link and said, here's what your parents are saying, your students are saying, and this is what your staff is saying. So go through them. And we know for some of them, it's a matter of tweaks or doing more. Like we get all the time, you have a lot of great programs, but you're not promoting them enough. So that's something that you can respond to and create more outreach. And then there were some in there like the bathroom situation, the food situation. So all of those were reviewed so that the sites could share with their staff. This is the feedback that we're getting. For goal 2, remember goal 2 is engagement. How are we bringing in our parents and our partners? They wanted surveillance equipment. They asked for metal detectors. They said they want more mental health counselors. They want more educational workshops. They want more college tutors in a variety of subjects. They also said we need more space for wellness center. We like what's going on at El Rancho High School with the Oasis, but we need them at all sites and we might need more than one Oasis center. Lastly, round the clock security. So this goal was really focused on the feedback in terms of safety. Again, this is from the in-person parent meetings. Goal 3, the academics had the least amount of feedback. They seemed okay there. They said more promotion of all academic programs, like so much, but we don't know about them. And this was a really powerful one. They said, we want you to have a deeper analysis of the causes for student struggle. So why are our kids struggling? Not just they have low attendance. Why do they have low attendance? Oh, they're misbehaving. What is that a symptom of? So getting to the root cause. Lastly, for our goal 4 for ELs, they said we want more specific programs. So if you look at goal 3, that's where we've mentioned like Avid Excel, which is our LTEL program for the middle school, but it isn't listed in goal 4 because it's somewhere else. And they said, just be more specific with what you're doing for our English learners. In addition to those meetings, we also put out that survey, and there are 4 questions that we asked all of our partners. We asked the same questions of our students, our parents, and our staff. So the first question is, students are receiving a high quality learning experience. And this is the percentage of agreement. So you can see the highest agreement is from our staff at 96.5 said they agree with that statement. The lowest would be our students, 89.5. Next is, I have opportunities to get involved in school-wide decisions. Our parents felt they had the most opportunity. Next question. I or my child feel safe at this school site. Highest response, parents and staff were pretty close. The lowest was from our students. And our last question. Students have access to courses and programs that meet their interests and needs. And these were pretty similar across the board. Pretty high results, but we could still do better. And I point these questions out because not only are these questions that we ask all 3 of our groups, but these are metrics in our LCAP. So this is one of the ways, like for example, for conditions of learning, they ask us, do you offer a broad course of study? So the way that we measure it is, do our students feel like they're getting the opportunities they need to explore the areas that they want to learn more about? I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Castanon. She's going to share the DAC-DLAC feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. So, excuse me. Sorry. Is it there? Thank you. So we were also met with our DAC and DLAC this past week to get their feedback. And it was interesting that when we met with them, we understand that each school and our students have different needs, but our ultimate goal is for our students to succeed in school. So when we reviewed each goal, we received different feedback, and it was interesting to see the different perspectives we would get if it was from a parent from the elementary, the middle school, the high school, and the needs of their children, if they were ELs, if they were had special needs, or if they had just become involved in our schools. They all had a different perspective. So some of the feedback we got for goal 1 was recommending to expanding efforts to acknowledge and celebrate teachers' contributions through awards and formal recognition initiatives. They really feel that the impact teachers have made with their students is important to recognize, not only one time, but throughout the school year. They also want to encourage greater teacher engagement in students learning to foster stronger academic support and meaningful connections. And they realize that our teachers are qualified, they're considered highly effective teachers, but they're concerned sometimes with the relationships they have with their students and how they teach. And they shared personal examples that sometimes when they were in school or in college, they had very good teachers, but there wasn't a connection. And even though teachers are teaching it, the students sometimes need to learn more than just the academic and have that relationship with them so that they can succeed in school. When we look at goal 2, the feedback, when one was important and we spent some time discussing, was they would like to know why students do not feel safe at school. They realized there was a difference in the surveys, but why? And the comment came up, if we do have metal detectors or certain activities to promote student safety, is that too much where they feel safe? And we shared our own experiences that sometimes when we go somewhere and we see that there's bulletproof glass, we're like, why is that necessary? Why don't we feel safe? So they realize there's a difference, but they want to know why, and if we can create a question for that. They also wanted us to recommend reconsidering GPA requirements for students so they can participate in sports and feel engaged and connected to school. That sometimes students that are not doing well in school need something else to feel engaged. And sometimes even though we say you need to have a certain GPA, They may not need it then to get into the sports, but once they're in sports, it'll initially trickle down so that they feel more engaged in school and will do better in school. And then for goal 3, we talked about making sure that parents are aware of what they can do so that students are aware of their graduation requirements. They need more support for our English learners in the A through G requirements. And they looked at the data at the different subgroups, and that was one of the groups that needed additional support. Lastly, for goal 4, we looked at our English learners and what we could do for our long-term English learners. Why is it sometimes our students are with us for so long and they're still English learners? So we talked about making sure parents are aware of it, even students are aware of it. One of the things I found interesting when we do have students part of the group, they see things so differently. Like, I didn't know anybody ever looked at that. I didn't know why we were having to take this test. They don't see the relevance of it and sometimes don't try. And again, we talked about the importance of parent participation. Did I skip one? Okay, so for goal 5, that's the one that Mrs. Chavez explained that we need to address for feedback with both Salazar and Virtual Academy. And those will be upcoming on May 22nd with the parent groups and staff from both Salazar and the Virtual Learning Academy. So our next steps is that we're going to return with LACO to do revisions at the end of May. We will have the LCAP available for public viewing. It opens on June 2nd, 2025. Then it closes June 13th. We'll have our hearing at our board meeting, which is scheduled for June 17th, and finally submit for approval on June 24th. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, we're here to
Thank you
answer
for the
them.
presentation. I'll start over here on the far left. Trustee Perez.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I have a couple of questions on goal number 5. I know that it's going to be Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember if it was Rio Hondo or Tri-Cities, because I know I saw them on the agenda tonight, that promised to look into CTA pathways, specifically regarding like media, technology, video gaming. Has there been any movement in that direction?
So this year we did open up a second pathway. So Salazar does have a health pathway and they also have a family management pathway. Next year we're going to switch pathways to something that's a little bit more engaging and a little bit more fit to what their needs. So we're going to pull out the health one is going to expand and we're adding the second. We talked to them recently about the media tech. I know I don't believe Rio Hondo was the one looking at it. I think it was Tri-Cities ROP. And so that's one of the areas that we were really trying to expand. They haven't offered a specific pathway yet, but they are helping us develop something a little bit. We're a little stuck because we can't build facilities yet to like, for example, the kids would love to do culinary arts, but that's something that we can do by the fall. We can build towards that, and we're going to have the esports as another opportunity for them. But to have a full CTE pathway, we have to kind of work with the facilities we have right now. So we're planning out 2 full pathways, and one of them will be health science. So if a kid does return from Salazar to El Rancho, they can finish at El Rancho High School. Or if they started at El Rancho High School, they complete it at Salazar.
Okay, because I just want to make sure. It's been a year now, I don't know where Dr. Vegas went. Dr. Vegas, it's been a year that we met for the CTA conversation, and that was one of the requests that I remember from the board, specifically it doesn't have to be a CTE, but maybe just a pathway for students, because the biggest engagement was, I believe it was like video gaming and and then now that we have the esports there's teachers that I know when I spoke to them, they said that they'll teach it. They said we'll teach it in media. So we can follow up with Tri-Cities to see what pathway can we create, because when it comes to technology, you don't really need facilities. You just need a computer or some type, you need the qualified teacher, and I know we have that, and so we can just follow up with Tri-Cities, especially because they're on the agenda and we're giving them money. So just make sure that we follow up to see what are the options that we can have.
Sorry, it's coming back to me as we're speaking. So it's the health pathway that's already there that we're going to expand to be a full pathway. The other one that we're looking at is the child development pathway, because again, you don't need facilities, and the students would be able to go do their hours at Valencia or across at Rio Vista and complete that course with a certificate of like a preschool assistant and immediately have employment opportunities. So we not only wanted to hit something that kids are interested, but something that they could it's also self-interest. they could come and work for us, right? And we
Yeah.
need the support, but they could also walk out with a certificate and say, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our kids did show interest in that. So those are the two pathways that we're developing. So starting next year, Salazar will have 2 full-blown pathways. And that's important because if you go back to the college and career readiness, that's one of the metrics that we can use to make sure that our kids, if they're not A through G, if they didn't take 2 Rio Hondo courses, if they didn't get biliteracy seal, they can still earn college and career readiness status by completing the pathway. So those would be the 2 that we offer next year.
And that's great.
Yeah.
But I do remember that when we did your last comment, when we did the survey, the biggest interest was, I don't know if it was like video game or media, something to technology. That was the biggest, like 80% from what I remember. So we have such a great interest. Now we have the esports. I do want to make sure that we follow up, Dr. Vegas, with the board, with Tri-Cities to look into what options, maybe not CTE, but what pathway. It's been a year. And I'm not saying on you, I know it's, but I want to put it on Tri-Cities that we've been asking for it. And so I just want to make sure that they follow up to give us options.
And it would be a conversation of giving something up, right?
Okay.
Because if we have 2 pathways already, Salazar only ever had 1. So we're adding a second. If we want, they would have to do a pathway because that's what they do with career tech education. So that would be a 3rd, and that would be an additional cost.
Okay. And of course it's up to the school, it's up to the district, but I'm just curious to get more information on that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Saavedra.
I just want to thank you because I preach all the time, college and career readiness, we all do, but just the fact that they'll be able to come back to their own home, their own backyards, and be ready with their certificate, ready to go. I think that that's an awesome job. I'm glad that goal 4 actually set aside for the EL learners because that's always been something that we need to look at, and just looking at it by itself is I think we would benefit also from doing more celebrations from the students that transfer out of the EL program. I know they do them when they do like their AR and stuff, at the elementary schools, but something even, and anything that we could do.
So just last week, the principal, Dr. Kimes, called me because LPAC scores, summative LPAC scores are starting to come in, and she's already got, I think, 24, 26 kids with a 4. And so I called our EL TOSA, who was in tears, and we're like, we need to plan something. So maybe we plan a district-wide recognition in the fall, in August or September, so that the other kids see, oh, well, like that's my motivation for the year, right? Because if we do it now, they'll forget, but it's going to come back, right?
Yeah.
So we do in the fall,
Everybody
district-wide
checked out already.
recognition. And just one more thing for that survey, the senior survey, thanks to Mr. Matthews, one of the questions we ask them at the end is, are you interested in working for El Rancho Unified? And so we get a group of kids that already say, we would like to come back.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think also if we could work more, I know you've always pushed for vertical articulation. We could have the middle schools show up more, more often to the elementary school or the feeder schools, or open up an open house just for, and I know it's a lot of work. It's not easy. It's easy for me to say, hey, this is a great idea, right? But if it's something that we could look at, because I tell parents all the time about the programs that we have, and you'd be surprised at, and I'm sure you guys do too, right? How many parents are like, oh, we do that? Oh, they have that? Yes, we do. Come on down,
And I think it's kind of happening naturally now. I was just sharing, we had the story today that last week, Mr. Melgar shared a video that Academic Decathlon made, because now Academic Decathlon is 9 through 12. So now they created a video recruiting kids, and they're sending it down to the middle schools. So the kids started learning about decathlon in 8th grade. And so one of the middle school teachers reached out and said, hey, can we do academic decathlon at the middle school level? We can. It's called academic pentathlon. And so now we're working on, can we do that and have the articulation from 6th grade all the way up?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee I'm sorry, Trustee Mejia.
Thank you for the presentation. So I noticed that the surveys it was kind of low with families, right, with the parents. So what can we do to increase more surveys so we can have more input? Because these are great, but I do see that we should have more.
Yeah, so one of the things we've talked about for doing that for next year is incentivizing it and having like the school site competitions, the school with the highest percentage. And we're trying to figure out what funding can we use to, put this together? Because that's the hard part, right? To offer a gift, like if we did an ice cream party for elementary school, or if we did, we talked about if your parent does this, take a picture, get maybe like some bark bucks or some Dom dollars, but we want to turn it into, hopefully next year, a competition to get more, because we were sending this out all the time asking, please start, please take this.
And I did see that. I recall in the past you would do a competition for the schools and it would be like, I think maybe $1,000 for them to get books.
Yes, I believe our predecessor would do, if you win, you get like $1,000 Title I to use on supplemental reading
Yes.
materials. That's the kind of thing that we could definitely do. We wanted to make it special for the kids too.
Thank you. And I was really happy to see that the parents want to see the disaggregated data and that they want to see that. Awesome. Amazing. So at the CSBA conference this past weekend, during the Folsom Cordova Unified presentation of community schools, one of the things that they said was that just to getting kids engaged again, right? They offered free physicals for the students on Saturdays, and their participation increased by 65%. So maybe that's something that we can look at again, getting the students engaged. There was something about parents were saying, get them in sports, and so they want to come to school and the GPA and all that. That's something that I just wanted to share. And I'm hoping that we can use some of the feedback for the parent workshops. And if you do parent workshops, to offer them virtual as well, because I know that sometimes there's constraints, right? But virtual, maybe you'll get a little bit more engagement. And then lastly, there was this CTE information night this past week. But there was a very low turnout, and I'm hoping that we can partner with ROP on promoting that. I think that there was only maybe 9 participants, 2 board members included, and the presenters. So we have amazing programs, but we need to promote them more.
It says one of the things we spoke to Tri-Cities about when I met with them, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I shared with them, if you want to go to the middle schools and before the counselors go, maybe you go in December and meet with the 8th graders and say, hey, these are our pathways, these are our programs. So when the counselors come to program you in January, you can say, I want to be in the construction class, whether it's my 9th or 10th grade year or even 11th year. Make a note. I'm interested in construction. I'm interested in sports med. I'm interested in culinary, so that they start hearing it directly. Because they can take some of our kids, they can take some activities. So I share with Tri-Cities, I can facilitate that if you're interested in meeting. And it's especially at Rivera and North Park, because they have the Paxton Patterson labs. Yes. Those kids are already exploring those modules.
Excellent. And then just the last one is, I thought we had a wellness center at every school right now. Because it seems maybe that information is not known to parents. So again, about promoting. In progress?
At every school site, but we currently only have Rivera, and El Rancho High School.
3. Yeah. Okay. And maybe just, I don't know, if there's a way to keep parents informed of milestones. That way they know it's coming.
Yes, some parents were definitely like, wow. And then there was one parent that asked, so how long can they stay there? And does somebody send them back to class? Because they hadn't experienced it yet. Right. So I can see the parent thinking, like, is this a way a kid's going to try to get out of class? We explained to them the parameters, the way it works, the supports that are there.
Thank you. And then I do plan to pull in items to continue the conversation on CTE. Thank you.
Ms. Mickey, I did want to add for the parent workshops. We are aware of that sometimes. How can we have the workshops available? Parents request them, but it's something we're not getting the attendance we would like or participation. So we're working with our community liaisons to ask them to hold them at their sites, to have surveys for their parents of what works for them. Is it better in the morning? Is it better in the afternoon? Is it better in Spanish? Is it English? Trying those hybrid models where it's in person as well as virtual, so that we can increase parent participation. So we are working together so that we can see more parent participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee LaFarga.
The echo. Thank you for the presentation. Echo the sentiments and support the comments of my colleagues. So to not be redundant, just there's so much feedback here, right? So how do you synthesize that, and when you make revisions, how do you stack those up?
Right. So one of the pieces, so we meet with everybody in cabinet, we meet with the sites. So for example, one of the items is the induction program. So we sat there with Ms. Redding and said, okay, this is how much we have allocated. Are you doing anything different? Look at the feedback. Is there anything we need to change? And she came back and said, well, I'd like to do this. I've always wanted to do. Can we find funding? And so we look at the funding, we add actions to it. For example, if if and when we move to iReady right now, we need to create an action item or broaden the Renaissance item that's there, the action, to include that. And some of them, it's not a money thing. So for example, making our community aware of the programs we have, we don't have to allocate. That's already in the LCAP. It's just touching on those actions. For some, one of the actions is the interventionist. The board approved that job description. They're on the board to approve today. We didn't get it started this year. So we're going to explain to LACO, it took us a while to do the job description, but they're going to be in place next year. So we adjust those pieces. So some of them are things that we can do right away. Some of them are ones that we need to go back and change or create an action for it. It just depends on what the feedback is. And some of them are things that we can't do, that parents might say, and we'll explain, well, we have this instead, or it's not in the LCAP, but it's being funded through a title fund or another resource or ELOP.
Do you circle back to the stakeholders that participated in the survey?
So for DAC-DLAC especially, it's part of the law. So every question they ask, we have to respond and then post it. So everybody will see those pieces. But one of my favorite things about presenting to DAC-DLAC is they said, so next year, we're going to come back here and tell you what we think again. And we said, yes, if you're part of DAC-DLAC, if you just want to show up for that meeting, we're going to go back and we're going to look at our metrics. Did those actions help? Did they not? And one of the new changes with the LCAP is if we use supplemental concentration funding and we have an action for 3 years and it doesn't show results, we can't keep doing that. We have to change an action or use different funding.
Yeah. And the area on the bars of the survey data that you presented, the involved in school-wide decisions obviously is the lower one. What's the intentionality of that question? Because it could be a little misleading, right?
Right. So that's under our goal of engagement. So do our parents, do our teachers, do our students feel like they have a voice in the school? And for some that I don't get to make decisions, they might be parents who aren't part of school site council, don't attend ELAC, so they feel like I'm not part of it. So, but do they feel like they have the opportunity to be included? We choose our metrics. We could change the wording of the question, and we feel like one of them we did have to change this year because it was a little misleading. But the idea is to gather for LACO an idea of how involved our parents and our staff and our community feel and our students in their voice being heard.
Yeah, and that we don't do it alone. It's like a triangle that we say that we don't do it alone. We do it together with teachers, parents, and students. And we need to get the feedback from all the groups. And that's why it's very interesting to get a very different responses or perspective, depending on which group you're working with at the time.
Right. And I think it just speaks to the opportunity to continue to increase parent engagement in our school site councils and DLAC and getting the word out. Were there any like aha moments in this feedback phase that really
For me, I always love getting the feedback from students because they're very honest with us and they realize to hearing from them again when we talk about the CAS scores, especially in the days, they're all, oh, that's what it's for. We didn't think anybody ever looked at it. We didn't think we're graded on it or we're already accepted into college. Getting their feedback, especially about how we can engage students more, is very interesting because I see it one way, but they see it very differently. And it's very important to them, the relationships they have with teachers, how they engage with them inside and outside the classroom.
It's connecting all the dots for them, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just to continue on what you just finished saying, you're absolutely right. Most of my feedback, what's happening in the classrooms comes directly from my kids, the students, and they're the ones that will give you the honest feedback. If they really, really like them or if they really, really don't, what are the issues or what they like. There's likes and dislikes, so you're absolutely right. But we need to find a way to really reach out to the students and get that information. I'm curious on the survey, how many students were involved? Do you have a rough number?
Yeah, it's
over 2,000, I think.
2211.
Yeah.
2211.
Out of what's the
We start, I think it's fourth grade on.
Okay.
So we have about 7,000. So probably around about 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not bad. And it is a pretty good group then.
And so we share the results with the site so that they can see.
So for Salazar and VLA, how are we gonna try to get more response from the students? Obviously, it's the ones that we're most interested in.
So we're going to actually go to their school site and hold a meeting in person with them. And part of their school site council, where students have to be represented. It's an open community meeting to anybody that wants to be involved. So we want to hear from them. What are some other things? Like they might say, you have, so right now the actions there are supplemental ELA material. It's opening that second CTE pathway. And it's that Feed First program that we started that really engaged the kids, but they might come back and say, we want more field trips. Or, we want to have a Rio Hondo counselor here every single day. So we're interested because they are interested in dual enrollment and we're starting that with them too. So it's really hearing from the kids or they might say, hey, we need more incentives, or we need, classes that touch on this piece instead of this piece. The event that we were at today for Salazar was great. And so we can see that with our kids, that they already, and some of the CAP scores are coming back that I can't publicly share, but there's growth there.
That's awesome. And then, needless to say, the partner that we have right next door in our Boys and Girls Club, I know they're doing wonders there as well. Not only with Salazar, but with El Rancho students as well. I think they're doing great there.
Also the prep program at Salazar.
And the prep program as well, correct. And then with the CTE, thank you for trying to expand and wanting to expand that program, because I believe it's going to be a greater need in the future. But included in that, if we could include a life ready course, because a lot of these students are graduating, they don't know how to change a tire, put air in a tire, or the very basics. Open up an account. I don't know if there's room for that in one of our classes for it.
So now with the I forget the name, the finance course that's going to be a graduation, the financial
Writing resumes and scholarships.
Yeah.
I mean, right now that is huge. I've been going through a lot of resumes and scholarships, and it's huge, and it's very alarming on how some of these are written. I wish we had more attention for that. And then lastly, on one of the goals, you did say safe and clean. I believe it was under goal number 2, or 1. In lieu of what's recently been happening in our schools, what can we do in the future to help make our schools safer and cleaner in your opinion?
I'm going to say it's student engagement and building school pride. I would always tell students when I work with them, like when you go to the restroom and using a gas station, this is what your home looks, when it's dirty, you're like, ooh, you don't want that when people come to our schools. We want our schools to be clean, to be welcoming. When you're outside interacting with students, it's nice to say, hey, can you pick that up for me? I'd really appreciate it. Or they see you picking it up.
Sure.
And one of the benefits about being here 25 years plus, all of us 23 years, it's nice to have those engagement opportunities with students. Today when we were at Salazar, it was so great to have some of our elementary students come and say hello. And what was even better and a little bit more humbling and made me realize how old I was when a student came up to say, you were my mom's dean, you were my brother's dean. And it was nice to have those because they felt comfortable enough to come and say hello, to do this and to interact with them. And again, those are those engagement opportunities that we may not be able to put on paper, but that truly exist here at El Rancho. And it's I think that's why our students succeed. So I think that was really, really neat. And maybe it feeds my ego too. Like, well, they remember me.
Definitely.
But it was really, really
And
nice.
I believe wholeheartedly that that's one of the reasons why our district is so united. And there's a lot of good stories. There's a lot of good programs, a lot of good things that we do need to promote, I believe, a little bit more. And I know we're working on that. And we've asked for better promotions of what we have, because what we currently have, I don't think we're really shouting out what we do and how great our district is. I think we need to do better as a district as a whole. And I know that there's other districts doing some stuff that it's really helping them retain. And I know we can do better as a whole. So thank you for the presentation. And I look forward to seeing what happens in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're moving on to discussion. Item 14. Receive first reading revised board policy 1312.3 uniform complaint procedures.
So this is part of the updates of the uniform complaint process. So this is the first reading, so it would be an opportunity just to take a look at it. And if there are some questions, or if the board would like to have more information, it could be sent to you before our second reading. If you've had a chance to read it, there's been maybe some questions that you might have, but we would be willing to entertain those and see if we can answer them.
So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for discussion. If anybody has any questions. Trustee Perez, Trustee Saavedra, yeah? Trustee Mejia?
Nope.
Trustee
No,
LaFar,
no,
oh,
no,
I'm sorry.
excuse me, I'm sorry. I wasn't done.
You said no.
So no questions on this one. It's first reading. But I know that you gave us an update for the rest of the policies, and I think it's appropriate if it's okay with legal counsel, if we can get another update and just for the community to know as far as the balance of the policy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went through a process back that's the fall where we were looking at updating all our policies. So we contracted with CSBA to come and work with us for several days. And it's a really daunting task because there are policies that have not been reviewed or at least they haven't been updated since a very long time. Some just have 2017, but some go back to the 90s. I think we may have found one in the 70s that may have gone that far. And so we have gone through the process and updated most of them. There are a couple of policies that still need to get done. The way the process happens with CSBA is we'll be sent to CSBA, and then CSBA then will send them back, and we should be able to have something to the board very soon.
And if I may, so for the 9,000, I think that there was about 4 that we needed to discuss. When will those come forward?
And so we could bring those up. We could send them to you on a board update soon. I mean, like within the next couple of weeks, so that they can be at least viewed. And then that would be the first step that we would have to do. So, Jenny, do you think we can do that in the next couple of weeks to get those other 900s? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee LaFarga? Thank you. And none for me either. So thank you. Move on to item 15, comments and reports by superintendent and cabinet.
So thank you so much. And yeah, and there will be some cabinet reports as we I'm just gonna have one really one to say, as there's so many things, and I'm sure the board's gonna actually talk about the many things that are happening, as this time of year is so busy and so many wonderful things happening on behalf of our students every single day. But this Saturday we had the return of a 5K run, and I just wanted to publicly give Mr. Cochran a big shout out and salute and a round of applause for putting that together. Planning that kind of event is not an easy task. There's a lot of many little details that go into this, from just making sure you have the route, coordinating with the city, making sure that the street closures are happening, in terms of broadcasting the event, getting people to sign up, getting T-shirts, making sure that you have volunteers at each of the stations, and all of that. He was able to lead us through a really a great return to this 5K run. And so I want to thank you for that. And then Mr. Cochran is also going to be sharing some updates himself.
Right. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, thank you everybody that participated in the run this weekend. It really couldn't have been done with all the volunteers and the people behind the scenes. It really takes a lot of people to put that on and do those little details. So I really appreciate that. For those that ran, there is finisher certificates you can print on your things. If you look at your individual results, they're now posted on the website, so you can see your results, see where you placed, as well as print your own finisher certificate. And we're uploading photos. So if you have photos, there's ways you can upload those there to help share from the event from the day. So feel free to do that and share with your friends that did run so they can see that. As we talk about health and physical health and had the health fair this weekend, a couple of things that we want to recognize. There's some formal resolutions later on, but there's a couple of groups out of those resolutions I'd like to highlight. One of those is School Lunch Hero Day. That was back beginning of May on the 2nd. We like to recognize, everybody gets hangry and you miss a meal and you realize how bad things are. And so you really appreciate those lunch heroes. For Adam Sandler, I think, started it a while back with his homage to the lunch lady and the sloppy Joe. But there's a lot more that goes into our meals than just a sloppy Joe and the work that plans behind that. So it's not just the lunch ladies, but the lunch men, the people in the warehouse that deliver the food back and forth. There's a lot that goes on every morning. They're here early. They're dealing with the extreme climates of the cafeteria, from the cold mornings to the hot stoves and the ice box and that. So we really appreciate them and want to give them a special shout out. Another group on that, in line with that health, is our school nurses. School Nurses Day was May 7th, and we want to recognize the work that they do. There's so much more that's happening in schools as the kids eat lunch. A lot of our kids are diabetic. That's becoming another national issue that's happening more and more, and they need their insulin and their care when their parents can't be around, whether at school. We take on those roles, and our school nurses do a great job of stepping in and doing all those services and caring for our kids and keeping us all healthy in that manner. So we want to recognize them. And then the last recognition that I'll call out today will be the Better Speech and Hearing Month, which is for the month of May. And that, our audiologists and our speech pathologists that work with people, helping them to be able to communicate better. Because if you can't, we talk about all of our issues that seem to come up, it's always around communication. So we really appreciate, the stress that having a need for communication adds, and being able to be that voice for our kids. It's really important. So we want to recognize those groups today.
So in lieu of sometimes instead of resolutions, because some resolutions we've adopted these resolutions in the past. So he highlighted Mr. Cochran highlighted some of the resolutions that we may have done at this time, and Dora's going to highlight some other resolutions that would have also been perhaps dealt with.
Yes, thank you very much. So as mentioned, we do not have the resolutions before you this evening. However, it doesn't deter from our commitment to foster youth awareness as well as Mental Health Awareness Month. We know that May honors both, and I did pass out some buttons for foster youth, but green is mental health awareness, so we can also wear our green this month. I just want to say a couple of things about those both of those initiatives. So this month, schools were provided with toolkits to raise awareness about the needs of children and foster youth and the challenges that they face. We're incredibly proud to announce that this year we obtained a 100% graduation rate among our foster youth, a milestone that speaks volumes about the resilience of our students and the dedication of our educators and support staff. So with those foster youth, there was 6 of them that were seniors this year. 2 accepted enrollment at Cal State LA. 1 is going to Cal State Long Beach. 1 student will be attending art school, and 2 will be attending Rio Hondo College. So all of them furthering their education. I'm very, very proud of them. In recognition of Mental Health Awareness Month, schools hosted a variety of events and activities to promote wellness and emotional well-being. Activities were offered to staff and parents and focused on promoting self-care, raising awareness, and equipping staff and families with strategies to support emotional well-being. These initiatives emphasized the importance of mental health, encouraged open conversations, and provided resources to support our students, staff, and families. As a district, we will remain committed to uplifting our foster youth and prioritizing the mental health of our entire community. Thank you.
Yeah, and that concludes the superintendent and cabinet's report.
Thank you. And I did see Miss Lipstrew earlier. I believe she was here. I know the work that she does for foster care. So I really want to commend her for what she does.
And if I may add, I don't know if it's public that she's a distinguished educator. She was selected by Lisa Calderon's office to be the Distinguished Educator Award for the 56th district. So she was just awarded. The representative came over here on yesterday, here at the high school, and officially gave her the recognition. And so well deserved in everything she does.
Definitely. Thank you. Moving on to 16, Board of Education announcements and acknowledgements. I'm going to start over here with Trustee Perez.
Thank you. Again, just echoing happy Foster Care Awareness Month, happy Mental Health Awareness Month. I think it makes me so proud to know that we're pushing for wellness centers. Like, that's huge. I always echo, I'm like, no, but we have this. So I'm so proud that we have a district that prioritizes that. I know it's been a while because I was thinking, but again, congrats to the team for the grand opening. I think it was great. I'm excited. I've had friends who came to the 5K and they're like, wow, that stadium looks really nice. I'm like, yeah. So just congrats to everyone. I missed it in the presentation. One of the student ideas that I heard last year was for the CTE pathways to bring awareness. They said that they heard about I believe it was construction, because they did like a walkthrough during their PE class, but not all kids have PE. And so that was I remember the student, she said, maybe that's an idea that if we want to, grow the program, maybe, band to sports, like bring them and give them a tour, and even at the middle schools, right? So I think that's a great, so I just wanted to put that. Huge congrats to the team on the 5K. Huge to Ms. Mejia for running it. I was like, wow. And fast. But thank you so much for all the businesses that were there. That was really cool to see everyone come together and seeing the students perform. That was so exciting. So thank you. Happy Classified Week. Again, they're the backbone of our district. They come in the earliest, they stay the latest overnight. They're really, really, who makes teachers and our lives easier. So thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to join tomorrow for the luncheon to celebrate them. Thank you to the retirees. I'm so jealous. The years of service, employees of the year. It just keep hearing the numbers of 15, 25, 30, 35. It just that echoes, how special Pico Rivera is. And I love that that's one of the questions in the LCAP to come back to give back to your community. But we're a village and we're a family, so it just makes me so excited. One of the upcoming events, there's the Mommy and Me graduation, I believe next week, next Tuesday. And I just want to thank you to Ms. Natalia, Ms. Blanca, for just such an amazing program. The kids have learned so much. Thank you for the district for supporting that. I'm excited. And I'm going to do a shout out. Preschool registration's already open. It's 3 hours a day. The students have already learned so much in the Mommy and Me, so I'm excited for how much they're going to learn in preschool. So please, please, please register them. It's already open. If you have questions, come to the district. Last two more things. Friday, I'm going to be visiting Salazar to see their esports. So I encourage the board members, if they ever want to come in the future, just to see what they're doing. And so we can hopefully grow it and, bring it to the high school, bring it to the middle schools. I know some of the after school programs are doing it, but just one step to getting us closer, to getting the kids, excited. And then last but not least, I just want to give a huge shout out to LA Galaxy. They actually they're going to give us tickets for the soccer teams at the high school. So I believe they're going May 28th next Wednesday. They're going to give El Rancho a shout out. So that's exciting. And we're already in the talks to possibly bring a soccer clinic to the mini pitch next year. So just thank you to LA Galaxy. Thank you to Mr. Osoyo. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Saavedra.
Go Galaxy. I just want to start off. Can you hear me? Okay. I just want to start off by giving a shout out to band. They're currently having their spring concert, which my son performed in today. Well, not currently finished. I just got a message from my other son. So that went well. I want to shout out to Mr. Rush, to all the band booster parents that put in all their hard work. They won an award at GASC. Percussion got first place at their last competition. They're doing really well. And they just created such a great environment for the students to thrive in. Now that we're talking about mental health awareness and just wellness in general, anything that we could do to help our students, to provide those safe spaces, to bring them in, you know what, I'm all for it. We had the first ad hoc committee for the safety, and I'm sorry that it took so long for us to have that. They're going to be regular now, and we're just trying to identify, what we can and what we can do to keep our students and staff and everyone safe. The chief of police completed their pin sales, and he's actually going to donate a scholarship to the ATP program with that. So good, kudos to him. I just want to give him that shout out. Track and field had their blue and gray track meet, and I know we have some parents that missed their children. It was during the last board meeting. I wanted to give a shout out to all the kids in track and field that they have had such a wonderful year. They came and they helped out during the 5K, and especially to Mr. Jay Serna, who made it to CIF. A lot of kids did, but I wanted to give him that quick shout out. The high school, they had prom, they had dawn games. I was a judge for the first time ever. It was so ridiculously fun. I wanted to say thank you to all those teachers that go above and beyond. It's late and they're out there, doing the Macarena or whatever musical chairs and the kids are just so excited. And again, such a safe space for the kids to be and to be engaged and to be in their own school. Senior commitment day was amazing. Yes, I did cry. My son's a senior. I wanted to remind parents and students about the California Promise, right? So we hear about that all the time, but I'm always talking about it, and every once in a while I have somebody that, what are you talking about? So, you can go to community college for 2 years for free. And here at El Rancho, the College and Career Center is more than happy to have their, Rio Hondo rep is here to help you fill out any paperwork or anything that you need. Shout out again to you, Mr. Cochran, and everyone that helped out with 5K That was amazing. I think we're not gonna meet before graduation again. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all the teachers, all the behavior techs, all the counselors, everyone that has helped my son along the way. You know, he's a senior and this is my youngest, you know, Mr. Cochran. Thank you. Everybody here pretty much knows him. And so I'm just so proud. And shout out to the class of 2025. Know that wherever you go, you belong. And you have so many people here ready to root for you and ready to guide you should you need any help. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Very well said. Trustee Mejia?
Finally got a green light. So there's so many events that happen, especially since we're going only once a month. So I apologize if it's lengthy. So I just want to say that the elementary open houses were great. I was able to attend South Ranchito, Directly, Valencia, and Bernie. And I just want to highlight Miss Sethman's class. Miss Sethman has little photo albums through all her school years, and the kids get a real kick out of going over there and seeing, you know, their brothers or sisters, like, oh, she was in there, or so amazing. Then the ribbon cutting was amazing. It was really great to see Mr. Johnson's family there, even though I didn't get to go speak to him, just seeing him up on the stands and, you know, everyone giving them a standing ovation. That was great. Great event. Thank you, Dr. Villegas and everyone. After that, I just wanted to report on the Coast to Coast briefly. We had over 300 board members from across California make the trek over to DC, and, you know, again, advocating for special education to be funded, you know, fully fund the 40%. The majority of the districts, you know, they were reporting 6-8%. That's what they're getting right now. Also advocated for E-rate, cybersecurity, and for the community eligibility provision. They want to reduce it, and we want to push back on that because our kids depend on these school meals. Very proud of my fellow board members, our board president and our board clerk for attending and for, again, standing, you know, together and advocating for our students. Also on May the 23rd, along with Trustee Lafarga, we attended the Evening of Excellence for Tri-Cities ROP. Our students gave amazing speeches, and it was great to see all their accomplishments, you know, who's culinary and everyone. So it was a very nice event. I was finally able to attend one of the sporting events, actually, one of two. The CIF second round boys volleyball at Cal High. Very exciting games. They came up short, but, you know, they should hold their heads up high because they did amazingly well. After that, we have the Tri-Cities ROPCT showcase from last week. Again, if we can help promote it more, get more participation. We have great programs, but we need to get more parents, students engaged so they could review those presentations. On May 16th, I was able to attend the virtual academy. The artwork was amazing. I think these kids only had 4 weeks with their watercolors, and I need to post pictures. I'm terrible at posting on social media, but the students did a beautiful job, and I was able to engage with some of the students and the other parents, and they were just so happy and proud of the beautiful work. I was able to attend the employee recognition. Mr. Matthews and the HR department, you did an outstanding job. Thank you so much. And I do want to highlight two retirees that weren't there. People that I respect very much. Mr. Raul Elias wasn't able to attend, and Ms. Linda LaRoche. These two individuals have contributed a lot to our district, and I just want to say thank you. The 5K, Mr. Cochran, Dr. Yegas, Cabinet, school liaisons, you guys did an amazing job. Just want to say thank you so much. It was very, very nice to have the 5K run back, right? In our community, that's held by our school district, and just seeing the families running with their kids and the little ones, it was really great to see. Very, very well run event. Thank you for that. I do also want to thank our Chamber of Commerce for partnering with us. Although I didn't see him, but I saw him in pictures because I had to leave for a conference. Senator Achuleta, very glad that he was able to make the event. Want to thank WDR for their water donation to the event. And I mean, this is perfect because it was held during the Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's, body and mind. So good event for that. This past weekend, I have attended the CSBA Delegate Conference. It was a very good conference. I bombarded Dr. Villegas with emails of all the information that we were receiving. And it was a very good event. I want to again say kudos to my colleagues, Ms. Trustee Saavedra. We learned a lot and, bonded with other school board members. Let's see, I attended the May revise for the CSBA webinar. There's a lot of concerning things. Prop 98 again is under attack. And today I was able to meet along with Dr. Castro from Linwood. We met with Assembly Member Speaker Pro Tem Lowenthal. And again, we advocated to please reject those Prop 98 maneuvers, which they would withhold a lot of money from us. They have the money, so they shouldn't withhold it. Else was there also for the TK not penalizing our districts for not having the full staffing, because that's going to kick in if we don't have like a 10:1 ratio. We will get penalized. So we advocated asking him for his support to please at least 2 years, an extension for 2 years. There's a lot of challenges with a lot of the districts. And lastly, just want to say happy Mental Health Awareness. Thank you, Ms. Soto Delgado, for everything that you do to promote that and your department. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee LaFarga.
If you're gonna clap for Trustee Mejia, you need to like equity here, brother. Just kidding. A little levity there, a little levity. I know he was clapping for her. Just kidding. Yeah, it is long, huh? The comments. I was just reflecting on the grand opening of the sports facility, and how great it was just to have so many people in attendance, the alumni, the connection to the community. It was an awesome event. I'm sure it was exhausting for everybody who planned it. But thank you for doing the heavy lifting. And I'll just tie that into for the Ranch 5K. I ran with my wife and daughter. I walked, ran. My daughter ran. But that first lap around the track, we ran, and that was amazing experience. Like just to see it in its, yeah, right. It's very soft. But the grandness of the stadium was I was taking in, and like, I'm not going to stop until I run my first lap around this track. And we did it as a family. So that was really cool. So it was a great success, and I'm glad we tied it into the community resource fair with the chamber. And I hope we continue that because it can only grow. So excited about that. Want to congratulate Trustee Mejia, who placed first she wasn't there to receive her award. My wife placed third in her age group. My daughter placed second in her age group. And I got the shaft. I placed fourth, and out of four. No, no medal for me. Oh well. I also attended the ROP Awards in Excellence event, where Evan was recognized as well. And there's a lot of students, but it was crowded, and they did it in 1 hour. It was pretty impressive. But I think having our student highlighted is probably the most impressive thing, right? So we're just really proud of the accomplishments of our students as well. I attended and this was more for personal work, but it affects the work that we do as a district, the Boost Conference, where it's the best out of school time conference held in Palm Springs annually. Two major updates that we learned in the field of after school is that the state is infusing another $500 million in ELOP money to continue its broad impact. So we got to look into what that means. I don't know how we're tiered as a district, but Some of that money goes to the higher tier districts in terms of reimbursements and opportunities. So that's great news because given the volatility of what's happening with the federal administration. And the other thing I learned, do we receive directly 21st century funding? No, but one of our partners, Learn that runs the prep program. So they rely on 21st century funding. So if that went away, Learn could be impacted and the programs that are being offered. So we got to do our advocacy on that front. But what I learned in terms of the timing of that money, it sounds like we're safe for 25-26 school year. The real issue is that they're putting on the table with the proposed budget is for 26-27. So that's the timing of the advocacy. So we got to keep our eye on that because the other trigger that I learned, if the feds cut Medicaid, the states are going to react to that by putting any money that they can, including after school programs, anywhere else. So there's a lot of domino effects that we have to keep our eye on in terms of policy and advocacy. So the more voices we have in the fight, the better. And let's keep taking our students to Sacramento and getting the word out there. I also attended the employee recognition event. I think Mr. Matthew needs a co-MC because he did a great job, but I know, man, it's not easy being up there for an hour and a half, but you did a fantastic job recognizing everybody. And it was a great event to be in community, and the spirit of just being recognized is what the beauty of it, right? Just congratulations to all the winter sports teams and the individual athletes that advanced to CIF and competed at the next level. It was really great to see all that. You see it on social media, you see it when you attend, just competing at a high level. So I'm in a personal point of privilege. My daughter Vianney ran the fastest 100 this year as a sophomore for the El Rancho High School. And I believe she ran the fastest 100 already at the new track. So just proud of my little girl. So congratulations, Vianney. Attended virtually the LAXTA meeting yesterday, which was and I have proof because Christine took a picture of me on Zoom, but I was there. I said, yes, I am. But it's a culminating event, right, to recognize the accomplishments. But I actually want to congratulate Trustee Mejia for being elected Secretary Treasurer of the board for this coming year. So more representation. We did have the safety ad hoc meeting. And one of the key takeaways during our discussion, we started talking about how we're looking at our incidents, right? The fights, and I guess it's they're logged in as disciplinary actions. And if I read the numbers correctly, from last school year to this school year, there's been about a drop in 100. Is that correct? Like, I think we logged 268 disciplinary incidents, and from the information that I got in this time last year, it's 158. So I think we're making progress in the atmosphere of safety and keeping kids safe, less kids fighting. But we're going to continue to track that. I think that's part of the commitment of the committee, amongst everything else that we're looking at. Just want to thank our classified staff as they've been recognized this week. Mental Health Awareness Month is super important. Let's keep supporting our kids as much as we can. It continues to be a tough situation for a lot of our kids that may not know that they need mental health support. But if we can recognize it and get them the support they need, that's the utmost importance. And then I look forward to all our end of year culminating events. So there's a lot going on. That concludes my report. Thank you.
So much going on. I do apologize for taking so much time, but it does need to be said. And also, being that we only have the one meeting, I want to start off by saying happy belated Mother's Day, not only to all the moms in this room here, but to all the moms that are out there. Happy belated Mother's Day. Feliz Dia de las Madres. To Mr. Matthews and Mr. Cochran, congratulations on the events that you guys put together. And I know there was other people involved, but there should be recognized the HR staff, obviously, and the people that helped you organize the 5K event. Already so much talk about next year, right? Already bigger, better, brighter, faster runner, and all this other good stuff, right? So I was held back, and she's not here, so she won't get mad. I hope she's not listening. I was held back a little bit, so next year I do plan. Next year I do plan to run it, and yeah, you know what? It was our first one. It was Babe, I love you. It was our first one. It was our first one, so we did it and we finished it. We did great, so I'm very proud of both of us. Can't wait for next year. I'm blushing here. I'm turning red. I'm turning red. Um, I hope I can still run next year. Um, the band, they had an event not only today but last week as well. They highlighted, I believe, the color guard and the drum line. Um, Mr. Rush, I know we talk wonders of him. He's doing great things. It was a great event. And I know next year, it's just gonna be like, again, bigger, better, great things to come for the band, and I'm looking forward to it. Senior Commitment Day. I was also there, showed up a little bit late, but I was able to be there. And big shout out to my daughter who decided to go to CBU. Um, and the rest of the seniors that are doing something, and it's not just it's the universities or colleges, whatever they decide to do after they graduate from here. Like I said earlier, to all of them, there's always a place to come back. El Rancho is always going to be here, and once a Don, always a Don. That holds so true. Whatever help we can give them. So congratulations to that. Um, Powder Puff game. Powder Puff game. Last week. Last week. Yes. Last week. Congratulations to the seniors winning back-to-back championships. And also to my daughter for throwing the first touchdown on the field, and also for I'm sorry. She ran in for the first touchdown, and then she threw for the extra 2 points. So congratulations to her, to the rest of the seniors for that great event. The stadium was jam-packed. It was filled. And it was a great event, and I'm sure they were happy to be the first ones to actually use that stadium for an actual event. I should say the field, Ernie Johnson Field. So everything else has already been said. Oh, and I'd also, if we can please close in memory of Coach Steve Hartman, who was here when I was here in 1991. I don't know exactly how long the longevity, but I know it's here for a very long time prior to. And Miss, as was stated earlier in one of the speakers, Miss Rocio Correa, we can close a little bit later in both of their memories. Oh, and I apologize. At this time, we do need to take a vote to extend the meeting for about another hour, I hope. Is there a motion? Trustee Saavedra, and a second for Trustee Mejia. Can I take a group? All in favor? Good? And opposed? Okay, so we move on, moving forward, and thank you for reminding me. So with that being said, we're going to move forward to consent agenda. And then before I get a motion, do we have any items to pull?
Yes, 17A.3.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yes, 17A.3.
17A.3. Thank you. With that being said, is there any more items to pull? Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Second.
Motion by Saavedra, second by Mejia. Sorry. Trustee Perez?
Yes.
Trustee Saavedra?
Yes.
Trustee Lafarga?
Yes.
Trustee Mejia?
Yes.
And myself, yes. So moving on to item 17A.3. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mejia and second by Lafarga. Open it up for speaking.
Yes, thank you. So when we last approved this item back in August, and I apologize for not submitting a question when we were having the conversation on the LCAP.
Sorry to bother you. I'm gonna stick up a little bit into the mic.
Is this
There we
better?
go. Yes. Thank you.
Me.
Mm.
Okay, so when we were having the conversation on the LCAP and CTE was brought up, I remembered that, and since we have the item for the pass-through, at the last meeting back in August, we gave direction to review the pass-through, the amount, if there's possibility for COLA. I don't think we received an update on that, and I'm not expecting you to give me an update. Again, I didn't front load this question before, so if we can get an update on that. The minutes do reflect that we gave direction. And also, so I know Trustee Perez brought up the CTE question. So the meeting was actually in August, and it's still related to CTE, so it's appropriate. The meeting was in August, and it was with our partners, right, with Rio Hondo, all the Tri-Cities, yeah, and everyone, right? So we also gave direction there to take up Rio Hondo on their CTE pathway audit. And I know I heard some news today that their leadership is changed at Rio Hondo, unfortunately, but changing, but I'm hoping that we can get an update on that. Did we do the audit? Can we do the audit? Because I know we want to grow our programs, and they had a lot of great data. And I'm hoping we could, and again, the board did give direction, so I'm just hoping that we can get an update on that. I'm not expecting the answers right now, but I just did want to bring it up and to discuss it with my fellow board members. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? With none, no more discussion. Go ahead and take it to a vote. Trustee Perez,
Yes.
Trustee Mejia,
Yes.
Trustee Saavedra,
Yes.
Trustee LaFarga,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 18. Oops. New business action items. Superintendent Office adopt the resolution number 37, 2024, 2025 in recognition of National Teacher Day.
And so Ms. Castañón is going to be sharing some thoughts on this very important resolution. Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, today we'd like to take a moment to recognize National Teacher Day, celebrated this year on May 6th. It's a special opportunity to honor the incredible work that our teachers do. Teachers do far more than teach. The lessons they teach are not just so students can learn about particular subject areas, be it science, math, or art. Their lessons inspire curiosity, build confidence, and provide guidance when needed. They see potential each one of our students has where others may not, and they help students reach that potential every single day. In classrooms across our district, our teachers are shaping the future, student by student, moment by moment. Their dedication, creativity, and compassion are the foundations of our schools. As Henry Adams once said, a teacher affects eternity. They can never tell where their influence stops. Let's take this day and every day to thank and honor our teachers for their commitment and let them know how much they are appreciated. Thank you.
And so that's just a little bit of the importance of this resolution of how we really want to make sure we recognize our teachers and all they provide and all the input that they give our students, our schools, our community, and really, I always ask, do you remember who won the Super Bowl a couple years ago? And people don't tend to remember, but can you remember your third grade teacher? Can you remember your fourth grade teacher? People do, and that's because they do make a long lasting impact. And so, with that, we want to present that resolution for approval.
Thank you, Dr. Villegas. Any comments from the board?
I think we moved or something.
We have it. Okay, we have to move it first. Okay. Can we have a motion to approve the second?
Second.
Any discussion from the board? Comments?
Thank you for bringing this resolution forward. We appreciate it, teachers.
I'll do a roll call vote. Trustee Perez,
Yes.
Trustee Saavedra,
Yes.
Trustee Mejia,
Yes.
Trustee LaFarga is a yes, and Trustee Contreras will be right back. A2, adopt the resolution number 38, 2024-2025 in recognition of Classified School Employee Week, May 18th through the 24th, 2025.
Yes, Jacana is going to be sharing some thoughts on that, but it's same idea. The classified employees are really special. They are instrumental in making schools run in so many capacities and ways we can't even imagine. From the folks that drive vehicles and maintenance and keep our schools clean, cook food for our students, and there's such an instrumental part that sometimes goes unnoticed. So, in Jacanda's office, she gets to oversee a lot of classified employees, so she's going to share some thoughts.
Thank you. I'm very proud. We are very proud to present this resolution in recognition of Classified School Employee Week. Our classified staff are the backbone of our students, of our schools, as several of you board members have already expressed. They are there supporting our students, our educators, and our operations with dedication and corazón, that big heart that comes from classified. We thank them for their invaluable contributions and unwavering commitment to our district success. And I would like to do a quote. Classified employees are the unsung heroes of our schools. They are the quiet force that keeps everything running smoothly from the classroom to the cafeteria. Author is unknown, but I wanted to share that because this is the truth. These classified employees are amazing people, hardworking people, especially here at El Rancho Unified.
Thank you. With that being said, do we already have a motion, a first and a second on it? No, can I get a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Yeah, okay. And before we do for discussion, this is my chance to make up here. My number one classified school employee, I love her so much. My wife, she's the greatest person in the world. I hope you open the door for me tonight. No, but all seriousness, thank you. Because of her, I have got to meet many classified employees that you're absolutely right, Gio. What you just said, do wonders, and a lot of unsaid stuff, unsaid work, unseen work, that's done behind, because they love where they're at and because they love what they do. So most definitely. Any other comments before I take it to a vote? Hearing none. Trustee Perez?
Yes.
Trustee Mejia?
Yes.
Trustee Saavedra?
Yes.
Trustee LaFarga?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Resolution passes 5-0. Item B, Division of Business Services, adopt resolution 39, 2024-2025, approving the reestablishment of the El Rancho Education Foundation and appointment of future members. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion?
Yes.
Trustee Mejia?
Yes. So if I'm understanding correctly, the bylaws aren't being amended or they weren't amended.
They have not been amended yet.
Okay, so I would like to make a recommendation for the resolution to possibly include language that there will be an annual report to the board. Because I think that that was lacking the last time around, and therefore the board wasn't informed, or at least that was my perception. And not only the board, but the community. This is for our students, and the community deserves to know, the activities, make it a transparent and how they're going to be supporting our students. If there's consensus with the board.
Yes.
The other thing would be, I know that this is a common sense, the tax filing, right? If we could also get notification and or a copy when it's filed, again, just so that we do our diligence as well, making sure that this foundation is in compliance. Those were my two recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more discussion?
Just a question.
Yes.
By reestablishing it, is it become a legal entity, or by when
It does. So the options were either to dissolve it or to revitalize it, because the direction of the board was we really wanted to have the foundation. And so what legal looked into that, and the fastest way that we can get a foundation running would be to go ahead and have this resolution so that we can go ahead and bring it back to life.
Okay.
And so that's the fastest way to make that happen.
And that's as of tonight, once we pass it, or we have
So
to
we pass it,
file
then certain things would have to happen.
at the state level, we have to file,
There's certain fines that need to happen, and I would also, we would have to make some selections of the people that get selected. And I would have to look at the bylaws and see what we'd have, what type of changes need to happen.
is it a 501c3 or?
It is.
Yeah, it is, okay. So it would have to have a board
Yes.
named, no, okay.
Yes. And those people would be named at this point, at least to get started. And
Okay.
then there could be bylaws that talk about how those people would get elected or selected in the future.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more? Oh, I'm sorry, Gio, did you want to add on?
I just wanted to clarify that currently the tax status is suspended. So with this resolution, the reactivation, and based on legal counsel's recommendation, that the resolution is brought to you for your consideration, along with the old bylaws, that we should not revise the bylaws until the actual foundation is reactivated. And so then tonight, just for clarity, it's authorizing the superintendent to name two staff members, and then for the board to make two selections, two nominations, and then we would back next month for your approval.
Thank you for the clarification. Any more questions or comments? Nope. Hearing none, we're gonna go ahead and, Mr. LaFarga, are you good?
The nominations happen when? I'm sorry.
Well, we would likely bring them next month.
Next month? Okay.
Yeah.
And how are we gonna seek the nominations between now and next month?
And so what we would do is we'll be briefing you in a board update to kind of give you a kind of a process for how we would be doing this, whether we would whether there would be a nomination process from the board that we would gather and then bring it to the board at a board meeting to be approved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee LaFarga. We're good? Okay, hearing no more comments, so go ahead and take it to the vote. Trustee Perez?
Yes.
Trustee Saavedra?
Yes.
Trustee LaFarga?
Yes.
Trustee Mejia?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Item number 19, recommendations for future agenda items. Trustee Perez.
Thank you. One is just information. I know it was brought up in public comment, the district volunteer policy. Sorry, the district volunteer policy. I know that was brought up in public comments. I just want some more information. It could be in board update. Just do we have one? What does it look like? And how does it look? That would, if I can get a second. Thank you. Bless you. Maybe a copy of the handbook, if that would be helpful. And then my second one, oh my God, I'm breathing really loud. When I was walking around at the event on Saturday, yeah, I'm blanking out. I was talking to the adult school principal, Ms. Dr. Alonso, bless you. And I was telling her that, I keep seeing ads from Whittier Adult School, right? For, I'm going to butcher this, but phlebotomy, instructional aids, accounting. And when I look at our catalog, a lot of it's necessary, but I hope that we can look into, more job skills. So I know that, I don't know if there's been surveys done or, so if we can get just information on what are we doing other than just what we typically provide, and can we look into other career, even if there's a cost, like looking into other career specific skills. And I just need a second for that.
Thank you. Yes, a second. And
thank
just in addition to that, in discussion with the principal there, I know there's been mention of more AI classes being given in lieu of maybe, the basic Word and the basic, Excel and whatnot, which I attended and I learned a lot from there, but definitely more AI related classes and courses. So by all means, and then the city still has future plans to open up some electronic uh, commercial section within the city close to where Alan Ochoa is at for making small electronic products. So even geared towards that, getting them ready for working with electronics and having to build and program and or whatnot. So definitely something like that. But thank you for the future board item recommendation. Trustee Savitra? Yes, recommendations for future agenda items?
Okay, I don't know if these are future agenda items or just information or just me talking, but um when we so the meetings are once a month. I've asked before, so I'm gonna ask again now. Whatever presentation is already done, if we can get those front loaded to us as much as possible, just so we don't have to wait till a few days before the meeting. I would like to see ahead of the summertime two things. What schools have little libraries and how we can get little libraries, maybe partner with the city or something, so the kids have access to books that are close by, not just having to walk all the way to the library, but just walk down to your local school. Then the second thing as it relates to that would be to put out information about what mental health supports are available to students during the summertime. The Oasis and the counselors might be on vacation, but what else? What do we have? I know you guys have Hazel and programs like that. So just make sure parents are aware and students are aware as well. For next year, the surveys. Thank you. The start of school, you know, do the workshops need to be more towards the beginning, the parent summit. That's really useful information that I feel like parents could use more towards the beginning. And that's what I hear from other people as well. Also, we could take a look. I visited a lot of the open houses. We could take a look at the sensory rooms, maybe get a best practice, because some of the sensory rooms, like the one at Bernie, I just want to live there. It's awesome, right? But so we can see what some schools are doing and their share the good stuff that they're doing with the other schools. That's it.
Excellent. Are we good with the Dr. Villegas? We're good? Yes? Okay, good. Trustee LaFarga?
Yeah, I think this is more informational for our board updates, weekly board updates. If we can just make sure we have a place for updates on the leadership transitions we're undergoing in the middle schools, strategies that are being implemented, challenges, whatever it is at a high level, so that we stay informed of the movement, right? Because between now and next month, a lot's going to happen. So if I can have a second for that.
Second.
And the other piece, I do feel that follow-up needs to happen with the speakers today that express their concerns. So if Dr. Villegas, if you could please follow up with the speakers today that express concerns regarding the transitions, the more we get conversations going and alleviate some of those concerns, the better for the change management that we're undertaking. Thank you. Okay, can I have a second for that?
Second.
Thank you.
Good.
And I second all of the other requests.
Trustee Mejia, I was like, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Trustee Mejia?
Sorry, I didn't see your thumbs up. So I know that we have a communication plan, but I would like to get additional information. I know that we've requested social media ads per se, but so I would like to see a campaign. A communication plan, you have to have a campaign. And I really don't think we've had that established. Yeah, I think it would be very helpful if we had an actual campaign. So if you can please provide information on that, that'd be great. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. How's it?
Good. Thank you. My only ask is if we can follow up on the procedure or the policy, if there is a policy on volunteering for our district. yeah, so if we can get it out to, I know there was some speakers here.
Yeah.
If we can get it out to them or maybe reach out to them at some point in time. In regards or get it's a public handbook, right?
Oh, it is.
So
They should have it at any front on the back.
Yeah.
so they can have the information as far as a public
It was
speaking.
recently developed, and so we within the past 2 years we developed it, and so all the policies and procedures are in place for how volunteers should be operating in our
Okay.
district.
If we can get that to the Gary family, I believe is who it was. I'd appreciate that. And also just make it available to whoever, would want it available. So that's my only recommendation. Um, the most important one here, adjourn item number 20 to the regular Board of Education meeting of May 20, 2025. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Mr. Clerk.
You're gonna
Mr. Clerk.
close. You're gonna close.
Yes. So we will be closing tonight's meeting in the memory of Coach Hartman and Ms. Rocio Correa. We'll have a 30-second moment of silence, please. Thank you so much. So with that being said, motion to adjourn
Mr.
was,
C, before we
I
adjourn,
apologize.
no, it's my fault. There's a correction that needs to be made in the, it says future board meetings. I believe that the dates there are um we have the date here, February 18th and March 11th on the agenda. And it should say June 17th and June 24th. Those are the two dates that.
So the correction for future board meetings to June 17th and June 24th. Do we
Yes.
need to make a motion or just for statement or
Motion to correct.
motion to correct? Yes. So
Second.
motion to correct and a second from Saavedra and a second from Trustee Lafarga. Trustee Perez?
Yes.
Trustee Mejia?
Yes.
Trustee Saavedra? Trustee Lafarga?
Yes.
And myself, yes. So we're good? All right, so now motion to adjourn, regular board meeting of education on May 20th, 2025. Motion made by trustee Lafarga and seconded by trustee Mejia. Trustee Perez,
Yes.
trustee Mejia,
Yes.
trustee Saavedra, trustee Lafarga,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Meeting adjourned. What time do we have? 10:09.